Welcome to McArthur Live with
Sarah Davis
and Tim Bartz, your Ford video guy, and we are here with you to bring you all the good dealer insider news and information. Thank you for joining us with this. Now we are recording this as a podcast. If you may be listening to it on the podcast, appreciate that. If you are, come on over, check it out live on YouTube. The link for that will be in the description of the video of the podcast, I should say. So you can come on over. If you're watching this on video, you want to listen to it later, check your favorite podcasting channels, or if you happen to miss it, we usually have those uploaded Wednesday night after the live stream. Or no, Tuesday night after the podcast. The live stream is over. I usually have it uploaded about 30 minutes later on your favorite different podcasting platforms. So that'd be Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. A lot of people like to listen to it on the way to work Wednesday morning, and they can do that. So, and I didn't put up the screen, but those are different. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see all the different podcasting platforms you can find this on right now. Pretty nice. I actually use Spotify right now. I'm just listening to Spotify for my music, my podcast, and everything right off of Spotify, and I'm enjoying it. So, all right. Also, don't forget, if you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You can subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell as well, so you get notified the next time we do go live with a video. And don't forget, smash the like button. I appreciate it. Here, smash the like button. All right. And there's also something down there too. If you're looking at the subscribe button, you're interested, maybe you've watched the live stream a little bit and you're curious, you can do what?
for membership.
Yeah.
Hit that join button. So you're gonna hit that join button. But if you're an iPhone user, you have to do things a little bit differently. You have to go up to desktop browser, go up to the link, and then hit that little A and big A and request the desktop browser. And then you'll see the join.
And you can see the join. And then there you go. And then, of course, all of our membership content. If you want to be a member, that's great, and that's supportive to the channel. That helps us go on trips and such. We're going to New York Auto Show here in just a couple weeks. We'll be going to New York Auto Show. And so that kind of helps with the cost of that and that kind of thing, as well as other ones. And you can also, we give you some membership perks out of that. Click the membership. You can see all of our membership information. We do 2 videos a week, including a member live stream every Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time. And so if you want to do that,
we also have a member-only phone to reach us, a member-only email to reach us at. So
send out a little membership packet as well at the beginning of your membership when we get your information, that kind of thing. So it's fun. It's a fun time, and then I do a lot walk as well.
It's a great community too on those live streams. Even those that aren't getting updates or anything like that, they come in. We have a lot of fun in there, chatting and discussing things. So it's a lot of fun.
All right. And speaking of that, let's welcome in some of our members.
Woohoo! That is our introduction.
That's our introduction to the membership. To the members.
That is
who all we got in here?
Moderator.
Yes, and that is our moderator there. Well, shout out to him.
Mr. Ridgeview does a great job for us. We have John Ashton. John and his Rapid Reds say hello from Winchester, Massachusetts. Alan says, at McArthur, at Sarah Davis, evening to other fun-filled time. Yes. We have Mav Everlasting in here. Roderick Quibido. Montauk. Long Island weather is beautiful right now. Feels like spring. Feels like spring today here. We went to my husband and I took the boys to the park today. Jack Evans. After hearing the Bronco news, I'm glad I got my Bronco. We'll talk about that later. Niles, our other moderator and our aftermarket specialist that joins us. Fancy graphics. Yes.
I don't know about that.
Dennis Ferguson from California. Mel Culpepper. We have quite a few members with us today. Michael
Kostov was on a live stream with me last night, so nice seeing him over on the Johnny's Car Care Reviews. The live stream last night, I was over there, kind of more listening in. I was fixing dinner, and actually I'll have a video about this later or on my Ford Video Guide, but I was doing the wiring for my Bronco LED lights, so I wanted them wired straight in, and the rough country lights were a little their wiring was set up for a switch, and I didn't want the switch. I wanted to go straight to the auxiliaries, so I had to do a little wiring last night. I was doing that while I was watching his live stream.
We got our comedic.
Ragnar Khan's in.
Good evening. It is just I this evening. Didn't have enough time to come up with a clever intro. Later down further it says, but I am hungry. Yes. Just don't burn the food like last time when you were trying to cook your food while watching.
Yep.
In Mahathi, thank you. He says, see you in a month in Townsend. Yes, he is going to Supercell, so some of those do help support him as well.
And then Tim Holman said, hey, everyone. So
Member for 7 months.
Yep. Jolly Green.
Likes, put in your likes. That does help out the channel.
Yep. Did you guys hear that? So around here, I don't know why, it's like this game that when they take a deal in there, they take the deal packet and they slam it on the desk. And I'm like, I hate it every time. I'm like, really? I'm like, most of the time I'm not doing a video, luckily, but sometimes I have to re-record that section. Anyway.
Yes, Alan, we saw that Marie got her Maverick.
Yes.
We were just watching his premiere right before this.
Yeah, we were kind of watching as we're getting ready.
Yep.
Speaking of that, we do have there's several channels that I kind of like to support, and the links to those are in the description right above towards the middle of the description. Everything in here we're going to talk about, timestamps will be in there tomorrow morning. Sarah does those when she gets in, so we'll have timestamps for those, and the links to different members or different other channels we like. We like to support are down there as well. So we have there's several of them. I think there's about 4 of them, including Johnny's Character and Reviews. We have All Train Nation. I watch their live streams every Monday night, and we have some others in there. I know Driven, Wild Outdoors. Like I've been watching his on Wednesday night, so check out his live stream that he does with his son. And we got some others, Bird Dog Overland as well, and some others are linked down there. So we'll maybe be adding more to that, but check out those. All right, real quickly, before I get into dealer news update, or dealer news, good dealer moment, I should say, don't forget to our recent videos this week, linked are in the description as well. 23 Bronco orders versus pre-orders I did last Friday. And just kind of, we had a lot of people asking about, how do I do about this? What's this mean? So I just felt like it was a good chance to do a video, as well as a full overview of kind of just the basic overview of each of the different trims. So maybe help you decide maybe what you want to look at ordering. Also, the 23 Super Duty Job 2 went live last Friday, so I did a video on that, as well as on Monday, the full details about the Black Appearance Package, which we did not have until the order guide updated Friday evening as I was leaving. So I did a video on that on Saturday that we had go live yesterday. So it's the full details of what everything is included in the Black Appearance Package for you, so all those are. We thought there was some interior accents from the Chicago Auto Show, but it's nothing interior has anything to do with the Black Appearance Package. So check out that video if you want to learn more about that. I also had a chance on Saturday to do our first look at a Bronco Sport Heritage Limited Edition. We got our 1 of 2 in, and I got a chance to do a video on that on Saturday, and that we should get some editing and hopefully later this week get that for you guys. And we'll be at the farm show the next 3 days.
Yep.
I got the Lightning over there right now, going to the farm show with a Lightning, a lot of people are like, are you crazy? People are going to go, why do you have an electric vehicle here? This is a farm show. These are farmers. They're not going to want an ICE vehicle, but I'll educate them a little bit. We'll see. If anything, it'll help open their eyes to the possibilities, So we'll maybe talk a little bit about that later. Link to the Facebook Live is in the description. So Thursday, after the farm show is over, I'll hightail it back to the dealership and do a Facebook Live Thursday night if you want to join us over there. And there you go. So, all right. So, here. I didn't give this to you. Now it's time for our good dealer highlight for those that are on the podcast.
Yes.
Maybe I need to have the words so that on the podcast they're like, there's just 10 seconds of dead air.
And what are they talking about now? Like he said, now it's time for.
And then on the if you're watching the video, you're watching the YouTube video, you'll understand because I say it's time for and I put the graphic for the good dealer moments.
But if you're listening, it's silent. So it's like.
I'm gonna have to come up with my own little.
Oh no! You just need to be like. And now it's time for, and say it, and that's the audio.
I'm gonna have to do.
Now we've come up with audio for it.
I'm gonna have to do
I can introduce
voice over on all those.
I can do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Have my voice do it.
Anyway.
Okay.
Good dealer moment.
These swipes need sound effects. I agree.
We'll do voiceover as your project for next week.
Woo. All right. Hi, Sarah and Tim. I placed a new 23 order for a Maverick Lariat Lux EcoBoost in Alto Blue on 9/15. My order was accepted the next day, built 2/8, shipped 2/10, and arrived at the dealership on 3/3. I must admit I was expecting a late spring or early summer delivery at earliest. I ordered my Maverick from Richmond Ford West in Glen Allen, Virginia. Is that VA?
Yep.
Virginia. My sales rep was Master Certified Product Specialist Mike Johnson, who's one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He guided me along the process the entire way and called me promptly when my truck had arrived, and price protection was honored without any prompting from me. I would be remiss if I did not mention sales manager Mike Rozimski, who bumped me up from the default priority 19 to priority 11, explaining those with rollover orders would get priority 10. Lastly, finance manager Jason Tucker dispelled my preconceived notion of a high-pressure add-on product salesman. He was not pushy whatsoever, simply explaining all of the additional products that were available if I was interested. With so much technology on this truck, I did choose to purchase some extra services. I highly recommend this dealership to anyone in Metro Richmond, Virginia area.
All right. Cool. And we do have some different people, channels we support that have worked with their local dealers. So when we go to the Bronco Super Sale, maybe I'll kind of find out what some of those dealers are and get those dealers to make those highlights as well.
Yeah.
We got a couple that people have sent me emails on. If you have sent them, I do have them. We're working through those. I got a couple left, so we'd like to do one each week. So there you go. So appreciate that. So real quick before we get into scheduling notes and updates, we are going to open up the Q&A box. And a little differently this week, we actually tested this out on the Facebook Live. If you were over there, you might know what we're going to do here. But we do have, as you saw in there, Niles is in the group message, or is in the chat here, and we're going to bring him on over the phone. He's at home over the phone and be able to answer any questions you have. So if you can put those questions in the question box, Sarah's going to load that up in a second. If you could preface any aftermarket or any of those type of aftermarket questions about, whatever it might be that you have any questions about, start your question with AM and then put your question in there, and then that way Sarah can be able to ask those questions. We'll get Niles on the phone, and we'll do that right after the different things that I have planned for the night, and we'll ask those questions first from him, and then we'll move on to the other questions. So if you do have a question about aftermarket, start it with AM, and that way we'll ask those questions first when we get him on the phone. So, Sound good? All right. So let's go ahead and get into the scheduling notes. All right. Okay. Now that I know that it's quiet on the podcast, I'm like, okay, I don't want that. Now we gotta get audio for that next week. All right. So this week's scheduling notes and information. Just moving through 24 Mustang, of course, 23 Mustang is almost done. All the scheduling already happened for the 23. 24 order banks 1 week away. Not even 1 week. We're actually 6 days away from the order banks opening up for the 24 Mustang. So if you're looking to order a 24 Mustang, next Monday, probably be about 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. You'll be able to do that. Of course, you'll start production on some of those early builds the week of 4/17 or on 4/17. I looked ours up today, and our stock one, the one that we're supposed to get, is scheduled to be built on 4/25, which is kind of cool. So there you go. So that's happening. So we're really not doing any scheduling on the 24 Mustang right now. They've pretty much scheduled out all of the early builds for the dealers already, so they kind of have those in place. So 23 Escape. We do have 5 allocations. We don't have any previewing. In fact, most of ours weren't previewing, which is probably a good thing for me, because then I start trying to guess, on things. Anyway, it says that they are scheduling limited scheduling for May. Looks like right now we do no moonroofs. In fact, this is a nice like segue into this. It says to improve scheduling eligibility, retail orders with moonroof should be amended. So they're saying, yeah, moonroof is going to be a problem. It says that significant moonroof constraint 10% through July will result in scheduling delays. So they're only going to be able to do about 10% with the moonroof through July. So if you want one, if you're on the fence with your moonroof, you might take it off. So that'd be a good idea. Base and hybrid orders are retail only. And so there you go. 23 Bronco Sport. They're scheduling for May production dates. These should be, I think, job 2 builds. So if you have a Badlands and Outer Banks, don't forget it will have the body colored roof. It might actually, I did see one order where actually it was still black, but since the black roof is now optional equipment, they went ahead and put the black roof on those orders, and then they charged them $500 extra. So just be prepared if you do have an order like that. Check with your dealer, maybe look at that order and have them look that up, because it may be either, if you want the black roof, it's going to be $500 more. If you don't, it's a great way of going to body colored, and there are some people that want it that way, so it gives them the option to go either way this way. All Terrain Nation jumped in here. Thank you.
Saw that.
Appreciate that. Joined you. Watched last night a lot, but I was prepping for today and didn't respond a lot, but great live stream. As always, loved that one. All right. So he had the people from Bronco Driver magazine that are doing Bronco Supercell. He has some cool people, cool guests on his show. So, all right. Anyway, moving on. So Bronco Sport. Kind of how that's working. We have one retail that needs to be scheduled, and we have 3 allocations, so it looks like that could happen this month. 23 Edge, looks like May production dates. We do have some information on 24 Edge order bank opening, tentative for May 15th. So we'll see if that holds. Sometimes those get moved around, but right now it looks like they have it scheduled out and tentative for the order bank's opening up May 15th, and for job 1 starting in July. This is July 17th, but again, those dates could move. 23 Bronco did say no scheduling this week on one of the guides. It did say scheduling limited horizon in May. So if you have maybe a specialty build, you might get scheduled this week, but more than likely there isn't going to be a lot of scheduling. Don't forget order bank for 23 for those that don't have an order yet is opening up next Monday, the 27th. Again, 4 p.m. Central or Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. So now's the time, we'll talk a little bit more about it, is to get with your dealers. So get the pre-orders ready, because they did warn dealers that they'll probably close fast. And remember, they're only going to be scheduling, or they're only going to be taking enough orders to fulfill half of a model year, because they already have fulfilled half of it. So you want to make sure that you are only scheduling, you're only going to have 6 months of production here. So they are going to produce into November, but just something to keep in mind there. All right, and we'll get into other stuff. There was proprietary information they told us we shouldn't gather, but I didn't talk about it, but it's out there on Bronco 6G, and somebody even did a video, and it wasn't me, so should be okay to talk about it, since I'm just responding to other people's content. So we'll see. Anyway, and it's one of those things, we do want to give opportunity for dealerships to get a hold of their customers and talk to them, but at this point, it's not the news yesterday didn't have anything really to do with the current orders that are scheduled and those people that have been waiting. It's more for new orders and what to think and what to do and that kind of stuff for dealers. So really, I feel like letting people know that want to put an order in, what they can and cannot order is important news information in case your dealer doesn't pay attention to that. So that's what I'm hoping I can help with that. 23 model year Explorer is scheduling for May production dates. So there you go. 23 Expedition is scheduling for May production dates. We do have a tentative, possibly 24 order bank opening up in June 12th, with possibly job 1 being in August, late August 28th is again tentative dates. Don't forget to add the heavy duty trailer tow package to the 302A, 303A, 304A, those are all limiteds, 501A and 400A to allow for scheduling. They have taken away the limited availability for the max length. and so that's good. So that's open back up. So you're gonna, if you have that extended length expedition, they can start. They'll probably start seeing those getting scheduled. 23 Maverick, they are scheduling for May dates. We used all of our allocations last week. We can talk about the breakdown. I'm sure somebody will ask about that. Well, we can talk about that during Q&A. So I did see something new here. Build out. That means the last day they're going to build a 23 Maverick is October 14th at this point. That could move a little bit, but looks like it's October 14th. Key constraints, and I can tell you this for a fact because we had 2 orders that got passed over that were carryover orders. And so these are key constraints you definitely want to take off unless you don't care if yours gets scheduled. And that is the trailer tow hitch. Now, we're talking about the optional one, not the one in the package. The splash guards, the trifold bed cover, and that's the soft or the hard, as well as the load box bed liner. That is that tray liner. So if you have those options, I would take it off. We had 2 orders again that was not scheduled. They got carried. That we had 2 carryover orders. We actually had 9 carryover orders, and 7 of the 9 got scheduled. The other 2 did not, and I noticed that one of them had splash guards on there, and the other one had the bed tray liner, which one of them doesn't have now after that. So don't let yours have that chance of getting scheduled. You might think about that for those. We did have some new orders get scheduled this week. So if you're out there, most dealerships are probably getting caught up to that point. So you should start seeing some more of the new orders. I know some dealers had some new orders get scheduled already because they didn't have as many carryovers than we did. But now about every dealership should probably start seeing some new orders getting scheduled this month and next month. So, all right, 23 Ranger. They are scheduling for May production dates. Looks like we're almost out. The 5/26 is when hopefully we see the order bank open up for the 24 Ranger. Job 1 possibly in I think August 7th or 17th. I don't know if I forgot to put the line in there. Anyway, sometime in August. And so there you go on the Ranger. Hopefully we see that at New York Auto Show and we can find out a little more information about that. All right, 23 F-150 is scheduling for the week of 4/17, except for the Lightnings. The Lightnings are not scheduling this week. So there you go. And then for some of the constraints there, limited amount of moonroofs available. No power tailgates. I mean, it says no, not limited. It says no power tailgates. So we're talking Lariat and above, right? They get power tailgate. No additional Tremors or Heritage packages. Wow, we just got a bunch of Heritage in recently. No STX appearance packages or STX black appearance packages. No chrome appearance packages, and no 17-inch all-season tires. So what's that leave? So an XL, XLT, non-appearance packages, but no chrome package. So there you go. Scratch my head on that one. Okay, 23 Super Duty. It does say they are the order bank is converted to Job 2, so they will start scheduling possibly this week for some of those. They did say Ohio plant is not scheduling, but Kentucky is scheduling for the week of 4/10. King Ranch Platinum and Limited scheduling now available with Job 2. So we might see some of you that have been waiting for those could get scheduled. Limited scheduling for the 360 camera and for the split bench seats, as well as with your gas engines, limited on those. So now it's time for those diesels to get scheduled. Transit Connect van and wagon is not scheduling. And let's see here, what else? Transit is scheduling for the weeks of May, or actually the weeks of 5/1 or 5/8, both the ICE and the BEV. So the e-Transit as well as the gas versions are scheduling this week. We actually have a note here when we get to dealer news about the e-Transit, as well as some Transit cab and chassis, and what you need to do there if you're thinking of doing that. Currently not available is the power sliding door, and limited availability for the chrome 91A and black 91C HID headlights. Also the high res rear view camera 61E option, and the 360-degree camera 61D. Those are all kind of limited. No power outlet 90D as a standalone option. Limited availability were included with dual batteries for builder packages. Orders need from dealers with remaining BEV commodity allocation, so they actually need e-transit orders. So if you're thinking of wanting to do an e-transit, or maybe you're thinking about doing a transit, and thinking, well, maybe I could go all electric for my job site and such like that. Maybe now's the time to go in e-transit because they're available to order. So they need those orders. Balance out, which means that they're sold out of the power running boards, option 68L, the side barn doors, that's 59A, and vans, chassis cabs, cutaways with the 10360 GVWR. So there you go. And then mach-e, last but not least. Mach-e is scheduling, so that's coming up. And model year 23.5, 23 and a half model year. Order bank is opening up 5/4 for that, and that's when we did tell you that like the Select and Premium couldn't be scheduled anymore. They should start to be able to be orderable again on May 4th. And then, of course, 23 model year build out is 6/26, and then it looks like they're going to do a 23 and a half scheduling. So they are going to be two different things, and I think that's because at 23 and a half, I think, is where we're going to see that new battery pack. So anyway, so there you go. It does say standard range battery balance out with May production and remaining US order bank to be scheduled. So there you go. Any questions for me after all that information?
A few.
And we can talk about Maverick. I mean, for us, we had 38% of the Mavericks that we had scheduled out of the 18, which was 7 out of 18 were hybrids. All 7 were carryover orders. So I do think that I think Ford's looking at your orders and saying, hey, they have some 15s, they have some 10, 11. I think they can look at your orders and say, okay, you can tell they're prioritizing their carryovers because when they have numbers like that. So I think because of that, they're trying to give the people that had the hybrid as a carryover by looking at that priority codes and trying to give those allocations to those, because the rest of ours were all EcoBoost. So 38% of our orders were hybrid that we got scheduled. The other 61% were EcoBoost, and we had 6 out of 18 that were Tremors, which is a really high number based on their capacity there. So you can tell they're wanting some Tremor orders. So if they're there, they're going to take them. So that actually takes us down, I don't know, at least cuts our Tremor orders in half. So there you go. And again, we had 2 orders that overlooked that were priority 13s. One was a 12 and one was a 13. It's because of splash guards and bed tray liner. So there you go. And I don't think that the engine, changing the engine where it does change the receipt date on your order, doesn't affect it getting scheduled. We actually had one that got scheduled, and we put his order in like the first day. He got scheduled and he had made a change from hybrid to EcoBoost. And so his receipt date was like November, but he got scheduled. So I do think that Ford is looking and able to look at the order date. And so that's what they're going off of, not necessarily the receipt date. So when they said it wouldn't affect their orders, maybe they're right. So there you go. All right. If nothing else, let's get into dealer news updates. Roll the slide.
Dealer news updates.
Brought to you by the dog running across the yard. All right. Those of you who are on the podcast, you got to check out the slide. It's kind of funny. All right. So anyway.
By the way, they're talking about a drinking game again. They're saying if they were to take a drink every time you mention constraints, we'd be drunk in 5 minutes.
I'm drinking Monster today.
I can smell it from over here.
Peach.
Every time
peach.
you take a drink, I smell peach.
Ultra peachy keen, it says.
Yeah, I can smell
G Fuel won't sponsor me. Maybe Monster will.
It's
all right.
a puppy.
Okay. First one here is about the E-Transit cab and chassis. It says, beware that the E-Transit chassis cab and cutaway units are now available for ordering. And they did say that Impact, they said, try to get your orders in placed by Q2. or in quarter 2, because quarter 3 and 4 are going to be given to the United States Postal Service. So they'll have orders, and they're going to be scheduling a lot of those in quarter 3 and 4. So they're saying if you have an E-Transit chassis cab or cutaway, to get those in so they can get them scheduled in quarter 2. So they did mention that as well. So there you go. And then the dual headrest rear seat entertainment system option 50S on the 23 Explorer is balancing out. So again, balance out, we need to make this little jargon. Balance out means that it's basically closed out. So they're they're gonna finish it out. There's like, okay, we have 10 left. So this is a balance out. Next 10 orders we'll have it.
Blanca had mentioned making a doc for us with all the Q&A questions, the frequently asked questions. Maybe she could help us with making a jargon list too.
Yep, could do that. All right, so effective July 1st, 2023, the dual headrest rear seat entertainment system will no longer be produced on the 23 Explorer fleet stock and retail orders. Existing orders with the dual headrest rear seat entertainment system will be scheduled for production prior to this date. So if you have an order in with that on there, they will schedule it prior to that date so you can get yours. It says currently no spec changes are planned to remove the dual headrest rear seat entertainment system from existing orders. So the plan isn't those orders that have it to remove those. That's not the plan, but the plan is to kind of finish out. So it says starting April 20th, option 50S will be restricted from all future ordering to accommodate this balance out. So if you want the option on your Explorer, you better get it changed before April 20th. So and it almost sounds like they're going to just eliminate that one altogether. So we'll have to see if they are. So anyway, I don't know if it's part constraint or what. All right, and then of course we did talk about the job 2 for the Super Duty. There's information about that. So the things that were other than the King Ranch Limited and the King Ranch Platinum and Limited, those weren't available till job 2, so now they're available for scheduling. But also there were some options that people couldn't select yet. So a lot of people and dealers were supposed to put those orders in Priority 99 until the options were available. Now they are available with a little glitch. So we did notice there are a couple that aren't showing up. So the 355 electronic locking axle for your F250 and F350 single rear wheels with the diesel engine should be available. We did notice that if you have the FX4 package, that for some reason it's not letting you select it. So I do have an email into the brand manager to find out if this is a glitch or if it's just not on the order guide under the FX4 package, because a lot of times on the different packages they'll tell you not available with this gear ratio. I didn't see that on there, so I don't know if it's just something they missed or if it's just a glitch in the system. Black appearance package is available, so it's available on the XLT and the Lariat trim, F250s and F350 single rear wheel, crew cab 4x4s. So it's available there. And I will tell you the XLT is $500 more than the Lariat trim. In the video I did, I kind of broke out why. It's all the LED lights. So LED cab light, the LED headlights, the LED box lighting, all included, and that's why it's more expensive than the Lariat, which that's already standard on the Lariat trim. The CNG propane and gas engine prep package on the XL F250s and F350s with the gas engine should now be available. I haven't tried that one out because I don't think we have any orders. Also, the onboard scales and smart hitch on the Lariat trim and option 91D should be available. We cannot get it we can't find it anywhere on there. So that's another email that I have into the brand manager. So I'm hoping to get some answers back on that. Now those are standard on the King Ranch Platinum and Limited, so you don't have to add those to those. They're already standard on those, which is why that was one of the reasons that was delayed. Lariat has an option. It's not available on the XL or XLT if you're wondering. The Pro Trailer Hitch Assist is now included in the tow technology package. So that package was $925 before job 2. That package has gone up. On the XLT it's $1,035. On the Lariat it's $1,570. So I did a video on this. I don't know if it's going to go live, but the difference on that is on the Lariat trim you also get the intelligent adaptive cruise control as part of the package. So that's why it's more expensive on the Lariat trim. So there you go. Speaking of prices going up, Bronco Raptor, $2,000 price increase effective March 20th. Next, 23 F-150 auto start-stop reintroduction. A lot of people are probably not going to be happy with this, but it says the auto start-stop availability is returning to the 23 model year F-150 trucks. Auto start-stop removal will no longer be available to order starting Friday, March 24th. It says retail and fleet orders placed before Friday, March 24th will be built as ordered. So before you had to, for a while it was a required option because they couldn't do it. Now it's being reintroduced, and it won't even be an option for you to remove it. So some people like that it wasn't there. So it'd kind of be nice to have the option. Great that it's come back and you have more in stock and everything, and you can put it on vehicles. But once you make it an option for the dealers or the customers to choose, right? Anyway, all right. 23 Bronco Sport Badlands and Heritage Limited Series carpeted floor mats. All right, so they will be basically like all the other floor mats, because on those editions it usually has the Bronco Sport embroidered on those. So on the Badlands and Heritage Limited customers, now their front floor mats will not have the Bronco Sport logo on it. So the front floor mats were previously intended to have stitching that included the logo, so they won't. So it says vehicles built starting February 24th and onward are impacted by this. Shortage is expected to end early April. So they're going to have the thread back in stock to embroider those, I guess. It does say, due to customer inconvenience, Ford Motor Company will provide 15,000 Ford Pass rewards points as compensation. Divide that by 200. How much dollar figure is that? I don't know. Anyway, 200 points equals $1. So that's where I was going with that. All right. That's all the dealer news. Any questions I need to answer? Typing away over there.
That's why I moved this. They said my typing was too loud.
You get passionate about your typing.
I do. Now it's more of that I don't type very well, and so sometimes to get my fingers to work correctly, I have to hit it harder so that way I'm not fluttering. Yeah. My hands tend to flutter over keys, and I don't actually hit it, so I have to hit it harder.
All right. All right. Well, let's move on to recalls.
Recalls.
All right, so moving on to the recalls. So there are a few in here that's been updated. So now it's basically notifying us about the letters and everything. So the first one is on the 21 to 23 Bronco Sport and the 2020 to 2022 Escape vehicles with 3-cylinder 1.5 liter engine. They have the replacement of the high pressure fuel injectors. So back in December 19th, there was actually a recall 22S73 that came out for people to come in and have those recalls done to take care of that. It says in here, some of the affected vehicles, there is a possibility that a high pressure fuel injector may crack, which may result in fuel accumulating in the top of the engine. Liquid fuel and or fuel vapor that accumulates near a sufficiently hot surface may ignite, resulting in an under hood fire, increasing the risk of injury. So Ford issued this recall, which is again 22S73. So what this other recall is 22N18. It says once the dealership initiates that recall and performs that, then the customer will get a basically a warranty kind of. It does say that letters will be, of course, mailed out for the first one, but this in here is about the 15 year of service or 150,000 mile warranty from the start date of the vehicle, whichever occurs first. So it'll be a no-cost, one-time replacement if needed for all 3 high-pressure fuel injectors. So once you get the recall done, then you get basically a warranty for those injectors if they go out again. So, which is kind of cool. They have that. All right, moving on to the next one. This one actually.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rich Chapman.
Oh.
He says, lunch at the Javits Center, New York Auto Show is on me for all you guys do for the Maverick community. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so he must know that the lunches there are expensive or something. Anyway. Well, actually lunch for 2 days. That's
Yeah.
That about covers it. All right. So the next one is on the 22 to 23 model year Bronco, Wild Track, and Raptors. We actually talked about this, the steering gear replacement. Was it last week, the week before? That is recall 23S09, but they added to it. They amended it a little bit and said that that the owner letters are expected to be mailed out the week of March 27th. So next week, the letters are going out to the owners about this because it's a very important one. It says in here, they actually added to it about this is the one you don't want to drive because you lose loss of steering. And so that's not good. That's right. So it does say proactively contact customers, instruct them to stop driving their vehicle, arrange to tow the owner's vehicle to the dealership for repairs. Rentals are authorized. And then it says re-delivery of the owner's vehicle after repairs have been completed. So go pick up their vehicle and give them a loaner and bring it to the dealership and do the recall. So basically, I believe that recall is available because it says saying here that the letters are going to go out to the dealers, and they do have all the attachments for the parts information and everything else, and the technical information for them to do that recall. So it's no joke. Get it done. All right. Next one is recall 23C01, and that is on the 23 model year F-150 Limited and Platinum passenger instrument panel cover replacement. Now, I haven't been covered in recalls the whole time, but this is a recall that's been out since February 16th, it looks like. But they weren't able to do the platinum trims because they didn't have the panels for that. So now the parts for the platinum trim level vehicles are now available, and owner letters are expected to be mailed out this week. So you should start seeing those. And I actually didn't say what vehicles this was on, but on this one, on the platinum trim, it's the 23 model year out of Dearborn, built November 29th to January 11th. And then on the limited, it's those at Dearborn built December 1st to December 9th. So there you go. All right, next one is this is actually the flickering light. This is also an update to the recall already out that was dated February 21st. That's 22C22. This is a flickering light on the Bronco Sport, the 22 Bronco Sport and F-150 vehicles with the front park lamp flicker. So they have updated it. They've now have added the steps for both the F-150 headlights and everything, and the owners will get their letters mailed out to them next week. So that's an update there, and it does say if they come in, go ahead and take care of it. And the vehicles affected on this are F-150s, the 2022 model year built in Dearborn, March 11th through July 22nd of 22, and in Kansas City from March 15th through July 23rd. So we're talking a year ago vehicles. And then Bronco Sports built March 19th through June 29th of last year. So there you go. And yep. So and then this other one is on the Explorer 2.3 liter engines. So they just all they did to say is that letters are going to go out to those customers next week. So a lot of letters for recalls going out next week of getting with your dealerships. Dealerships now have the information so they can go ahead and fulfill the recall, which is what's important there. So there you go. All right. Anything I need to cover? How's everybody doing?
We're planning a trip to Subtropolis in Kansas City. Have you heard of it? Back when they were making the original Mavericks, they were building them and they were not selling them as quickly as they were building them. So they took a bunch of the ones that they were already manufactured and stored them in Subtropolis because one, it's out of the sun, it's underground, it's a bunch of caves, it's a cave system, so they stored them underground. It's temperature controlled and out of the sun. So the
one in Kansas City?
Uh-huh.
I actually been to those. So I had a friend in high school that he was on the, if you guys remember the That's Incredible, you probably don't even know what that is. So there was a show called That's Incredible, and this kid was on there because he was running marathons when he was in like junior high. Like he was running 26-mile marathons in junior high. So he was a friend of mine when I was in school, and he actually ran a race there underneath those tunnels.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool, but anyway.
So, there's history there. It took several years to clear out that space that they rented for those Mavericks. Took years for them to sell that inventory.
Interesting. All right. So this week's Is It True?
Is it true? There you go.
All right, if anybody wants to do voiceover singing for those,
Jolie.
there you go.
Jolie.
All right, so this week's Is It True, courtesy of me. So last week I did talk about by looking at our orders that we're previewing, and hopefully you guys, I know I mentioned several times last week that based on what I'm seeing by what's previewing, that I think there may be an issue with the full-size spare. Of course, when scheduling happened, that was not the case whatsoever. All the ones that were scheduled, some had the full-size spare, some did not. That had nothing to do with it. So I don't know. Of course, I like to throw theories out there, but I did that last week and it kind of bit me on that. So I probably shouldn't do that. But I just wonder if maybe there was an issue with full-size spare availability, and then their supplier came through, in the middle of the week or something, and they finally got information on that. I don't know, but it is not true. Full-size spare doesn't look like it happens to be an issue right now. So leave it on your orders. Hopefully I didn't affect anybody from taking off their orders. So yeah, leave that on your orders. So there you go. So, all right. And then, so this week, really debated on this. So yesterday on the Bronco Ford had a webcast about Bronco production, or Bronco ordering information and such, and they really voiced hey, this is proprietary information. It doesn't need to go out on social media, not on the forums. And then they mentioned YouTube videos, and I'm like, oh, I'm busted. So and I think about that. I know I don't want to interfere in dealers being able to talk to their customers and such, but it's more of getting out to customers that have dealers that don't do their job correctly. I mean, there's several of them that was on All Terrain Nation, 2 of them on All Terrain Nation last night, and they are good dealers. They do a good job of communicating with their customers and giving the opportunity to get a hold of them and do that. But there are a lot of dealers out there that didn't watch the webcast, although there were 2,000 dealers on there, and I struggled to even get in myself at first. But so hopefully most dealerships did get it. But what's happening a lot of times is you'll have dealers that will watch the broadcast, but it'll be like, maybe the sales manager that then doesn't give that information to the sales guys and such, and that kind of thing. And so I feel like when I'm giving the information, it's really to help the consumers work with their dealerships, but I don't want to stir up a conversation of, hey, them going to the dealer, well, my dealer doesn't even know anything about it, like it happened with the Super Duty. So I had that happen. I went in my dealer and they said that that's not available yet. And my video did not. I made sure my video didn't go out until it went live for Job 2 on Friday. But so anyway, so I won't talk. I am going to talk a little bit about some things, because even though Ford, say this is proprietary information, I'm not going to give too many information, but all of it is out there on social media right now already, which I did not put it on there. So I did not give it to anybody or send it to anybody. It ended up on Bronco 6G. I told Sarah, I said, hey, just let me know when it shows on Bronco 6G, because it will eventually. There's going to be a dealership that will mess up and put it out there. And they did. I showed the graphic of the constraints and such. So feel free to look at those yourself. I don't know why it's a secret, to be honest, but I do want to highlight when you're putting in the orders to think about and have that backup trim level, because there are a couple trims that will not be available that are showing on the bill and price. Dealers did ask, hey, are you going to remove those trims that aren't available off the build and price on Ford's website? And they said no, which something I didn't know is they said that has a lot of reflection to go into the inventory. So if somebody's looking for inventory out there at a dealer, their dealer inventory will not show up. So that's something that that it won't show up. So that's why you'll still see it on the build and price, just so in case you're wondering that. So there are a couple trims not available, so make sure you have a backup vehicle. Just to kind of clue you in, I guess, is the trim levels that have had a capacity. Those might be an issue there. So just keep that in mind. So they will not be available. So just so you know that. So if you've seen the graphics out there, you kind of know what trim levels we're talking about there. But what I really want to talk about, instead of talking about that, is how should you kind of order your Bronco if you want to make sure you get it. So, and I've actually done this several times. I've been spending some time on my own Bronco of building it to what I want. So I ordered in 2021, I ordered a 4-door cloth top 2.3 liter Big Ben. I know that I'm not going to go off-road. It'll be almost a year and a half before I take it off-road, and that'll be at Supercell. So I know that. I got a rear locker on it, and I knew that I was going to put different wheels on it right away. I knew I was going to put 35s on it, and I knew that I was going to put better tires on it and such. But you can order a vehicle and get into a Bronco and not have to wait a long time. And you're going to have a lot of those people out there who said, well, Ford should be able to build what I want to order. Correct? Talk to the people who've been waiting 2 years about how that worked out for them. So just keep that in mind. A lot of it, you might need to talk to several different dealers. So go to your dealers, having those conversations this week, so you can be ready. Because if it is what Ford is saying, is that the order banks could close up in 24 hours to possibly 48 hours, your dealer is not going to have much time to put your order in. So going into your dealership the evening of the 27th and having a conversation, you could get your order in. Shouldn't be a problem. That next day, probably, but it could be as early as on Tuesday, into business day, Tuesday, saying we need to close the order banks. You never know. I mean, Maverick was 6 days on the Maverick. Bronco could be something very similar to that, where within 2 days it could just totally close out. They could put so many orders in, it could be done. So that's also the same day that Mustang orders are going in. So your dealers may struggle with putting in your order if they're putting in Mustang orders as well. So they have to put orders in for both of them. So be having those conversations, finding out what pricing they're going to do for you, that kind of thing. They had price increases, so the new prices is what you're going to be tied to. But be thinking about that. If you want to get a vehicle this year, they are not going to price protect. If your order does not get built in 23 model year and the dealer has to put in a 24 model year order, you're not going to get any kind of rebate like they are now. So keep that in mind as well. So Ragnacon. Thank you, Ragnacon. And I don't know. I'm indifferent. Talking about this, I really would like. I want to help people out and give them information, but yet I don't want to infringe on anything that might. I know there's a lot of dealership employees working really hard out there, and I don't want to affect and make it difficult on them. But I feel like we're kind of at this point, kind of like All Terrain Nation when it comes to Bronco stuff. I mean, they're news sources and getting that information out. And like All Terrain Nation says, he didn't talk about it. So, I bet that was really hard for him, because we want to get the word out. For us, these are people that don't have an order, and I want to get that information out. So anyway, going back to what I was talking about, you want to think about that. So we know, because it's been an issue for a long time. I don't need to tell you about the constraint numbers or anything like that, but that Lux package is a major constraint. So Lux package is available on the Outer Banks as well as the Badlands and the Wild Track, and it will affect your order if you go with that Lux package. That's a very, very low percentage, just telling you that. Also, something to keep in mind, the more constraint items you have, the harder it's going to be for Ford to produce your vehicle and to get you scheduled. So most of the dealerships, we haven't received them yet, but we should be receiving information on how many orders we can take for the rest of the model year, and so that we don't take too many orders. Also, the percentages of how many orders we should be able to take of like the Wild Track, hardtop, and that kind of thing. I will tell you this, hardtop production is very, very low. Between 2-door and 4-door hardtop, it's less than half. Let me just tell you that. And if you're looking at a 2-door, you're going to probably wait a long time. 2-door percentages are low, and Ragnacon can probably throw in those numbers if he wants to on that, but they're very low. So if you're wanting a Bronco with a hardtop, I hope that you're lucky, you're good. If you're good at winning in cards and such, maybe, or if you're lucky enough to win the lottery and that kind of thing, it's kind of what it's almost going to be like with this. So, hardtop is going to be very hard to get. So hopefully, if you're one out there, you're like, hey, I'm okay with cloth top and such, then that's something that, hey, this is a good opportunity for you to get into a Bronco. So 4-door is probably the way to go. Cloth top is another way to go. So just keep that in mind. Also, I mentioned the Lux package. Sasquatch isn't really too bad. It's it's not a bad percentage. You can add
Yeah.
Sasquatch and not affect it too much. But so just keep that in mind. Big Bend, Outer Banks, Badlands. Badlands. I mean, probably if I were to order again, going Badlands with maybe a mid package might be the way to go, because you're getting a good suspension under that without going to Sasquatch. You still get front and rear locker, sway bar disconnect. That's pretty much all you need. You get the stock wheel, but you can always get an aftermarket wheel if you want to, and that kind of thing, and then an upgrade from there. So hopefully, without infringing anything proprietary and such, and trying to, I want to make sure everybody's happy, but I do want to try to help educate people on that. So just keep that in mind. So they are producing hardtops. It's not that they're not going to do any, so just keep this in mind. They are making 2-doors, and they are making 4-door hardtops. But just capacity-wise, with what orders they already have, remember, they still have about 9,000 orders in the order bank that need to be scheduled, which actually, that's not a lot. 9,000 orders is about 1 month of production, so that is not too bad. So that's a pretty good number there. So make sure that you kind of know. So there you go. So
Yep.
all right, and so I don't know, I feel like I can answer some questions, but that's been kind of weighing on my mind of how to talk about it.
He doesn't work for Ford or a dealer, so he can say it publicly. But it was a shame that it was leaked so quickly. I know we were waiting. I was on the forums, and it leaked within an hour or two.
And I'm, indifferent about that. You have people out there that haven't chosen a dealer yet. So they say, dealerships talk to your customers, but there may be a customer out there that you don't know is your customer. How do you get the word out to them of what can and can't be ordered? When they come into the dealership, you can, but doing that,
then you're crushing their hopes and dreams and
But
everything going on, and they have to reevaluate what they want.
Yeah, we had several of ours that said, "Hey, here's this particular, I won't say the trim, but here's this particular build. But if that one's not available, here's my backup."
Yes,
we
had few say that.
Yeah, so that's a great idea of getting your backup. So the constraints we've been having, and we've been talking about each week, are still the same constraints that they're still going to have the rest of this model year. So keep that in mind. So anyway.
We do have some aftermarket questions.
All right, let's trigger this. Here, let's see if we can get this working. All right.
Niles, if you're in here, can hear us. We're starting that Zoom.
All right, so what we're doing here, if any of you have aftermarket questions, on your vehicle, whether it be Maverick or whatever it might be, then you can pop those questions. Hopefully you've done that already with the AM at the beginning, so we can get those questions. Gotta put in an earpiece so I can hear Niles, because you guys should be able to hear him here in just a little bit. As soon as it logs me in. Didn't think it was going to take that long. There we go. I think this is right. All right, so we get Niles in here. Get him going. All right. So once we get Niles in there, I should have ready to go there for you, Niles, but we'll get some questions answered.
You might need to go let me in. I'm in the waiting room.
Oh. Why do that? Oh, they're there. Okay. There we go. All right, Niles, can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. All right. So here is Niles. Can you guys hear him?
Hey guys, how's it going?
All right. So, and Niles, I forgot the image. I don't know where I'd put it anyway. Like right between us or something. I don't know. But hopefully,
I'll be a floating head.
Do it. We'll do a sound check. So Niles, just kind of introduce yourself and tell them what you do here at the dealership, so we can kind of in a sense do a sound check.
Well, I am Niles Gridley. I work in the performance and accessory department. A lot of what I do is project management, where you have a dream of what your vehicle wants to be, or what you want it to be, rather. And I'm the one that makes it happen. We go from A to B, and we do everything in between.
All right. So haven't seen anybody put in there, but you guys hear Niles okay?
It is a live
hopefully
call
so.
in.
Live call in. Hopefully they can hear us.
Sorcery.
Well, if you listen to the podcast, it doesn't sound any different probably. So
Yeah,
all right.
hopefully I'm just a seamless addition.
Yep.
On the podcast.
All right.
Yeah.
Can you hear?
All right.
Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear
On there though?
perfectly.
Cool.
All right. Well, anyway, nobody's letting us know whether or not they can hear you, but let's answer some of these questions, and hopefully it's all working okay. Showing
They can hear him.
they can.
Okay, yeah, looks like
There we go. All right. Good.
Okay.
Okay.
So the
First
first
question.
one I have is from Ridgeview. How often should you have the undercoating redone to the Maverick?
The manufacturer specifications for our treatment calls for every 5 years. I'm kind of a guy that likes to be sure of things. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you probably ought to do it every 3.
Yep.
All right. There you go.
Okay.
And that's the undercoating. For those of you that don't know, that's the kind of, in a sense, it kind of protects underneath, especially if you go dirt roads. And I know in Maine, they have really crappy roads during the winter, and so that can really mess up the undercarriage there of your vehicle. So that can help protect that. So.
Do we have a lot of Bronco sound upgrade options available?
Sound upgrades? Yes, audio sucks on the Bronco.
Yeah, it's notorious for not necessarily being a audio performance vehicle. I would qualify that, but there are some aftermarket options. The thing is, though, is that if you're going to have a soft top or removable top on that, you're going to want to make sure that you have something marine grade. Maybe, like, I hate to say it, but boat speakers even.
Okay. Now, I know some people have gotten some different speaker bars that go on the Bronco, and I haven't done that.
I believe there's one on Ford Accessories as well, but I don't necessarily. I haven't heard too much feedback of high praise. So.
Okay. All right. Got another question.
Yes. How much are those undercoatings?
I believe we do it along McArthur for $299. Am I right, Tim?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I feel like you handle that.
Yeah, I know I do. Yeah, but I was thinking. I'm sure that we've told Tim, and he's mentioned it before. I was just making sure you could double check with me, but
I don't know.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's $299.
Ridgeview probably can tell you because he's actually put it on his.
Yeah, he has it on his.
Can you add an air ride to a Maverick?
Well, officially, I would have to look into a kit. When I was at SEMA, I saw many Mavericks that were much lower than factory.
All right. Is it possible, one second, to add a front camera and 12-inch screen to a Bronco that came with an 8-inch? I like the black diamond trim, but not available with the 12-inch screen.
Oh, man. Yeah, I wish that was a thing. I don't know that I'll be able to add that aftermarket and make it affordable, nor would I be able to offer a warranty with it. So I wouldn't necessarily mess with that if I was you.
Yeah, I mean, and what's nice about the Badlands is that if you're somebody that likes the black diamonds, you can go Badlands. Because the black diamond, you can get the mid package, and that's as high as you go on the packages. Well, you can do the same thing on Badlands. It actually starts without the mid package, so very basic. And you can add the mid package, and you're basically where you're going to be on the black diamond. But you have sway bar disconnect and upgraded suspension as well. And then you could go up to the high package if you want on the Badlands, but that might be the option to go. So. All right, next
I'm looking
question.
for more, but I have one. Can you order a full-size spare after you've received your Maverick?
Through your local dealership's parts department, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's nothing different that they do underneath it to fit the full size spare than the Mini, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's just that
It's
they
just-
didn't not the dealership, the factory didn't include it.
But just to remind you, it's not a constraint.
No. But for those
Correct.
that, have a Mini, can they get the full size?
Yeah.
I think was the question.
All right.
Oh
You
yeah,
can-
sorry. What was that? I don't
No,
necessarily know the answer to that one on that one. Sorry.
Can you do a speaker upgrade on the Maverick?
You do a speaker upgrade on the Maverick.
Yeah, anything aftermarket would be available, but there's nothing that's like an OEM replacement or anything like that. It would be a pretty well custom job on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the B&O sound system that's in the Lariat Lux, that was pretty sufficient when I had it in mind.
Okay.
Somebody actually just said you can get the B&O sound system
Yes.
on the Lariat Lux. So. All right.
I'm having to read through all these questions.
Yeah, we're just trying to find any of the ones that say aftermarket, and some of them.
That.
Yeah, man.
Adam Weber put in the chat that he
Oh.
lost some rear visibility.
Oh, I bought a JBL soundbar for the from Ford Performance for $100 cheaper than the generic online cost. Had dealership install. I love the bass and better sound, but questioning the loss of rear visibility. Is he talking about the Bronco?
I believe so.
I don't know if you'd lose any. I don't think you'd lose any visibility.
It does hang down on that rear crossbar,
Yeah.
like in the one in the middle. It does hang down a little bit, and when you're in your rear view mirror, if you're a taller guy, you might not be able to see out.
All
Yeah.
right. We have a couple.
All right.
Is there a front differential available for the Maverick trimmer, like was put in the last Focus RS?
Like aftermarket wise, or from the factory, I don't think it'll happen. Aftermarket,
No.
I'd have to do a whole lot of homework for that. I wouldn't know where to start on that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
A lot of our customers really like to retain their factory warranty, so I have to play, quote unquote, within the rules. So I don't necessarily get to. One of the other questions the other night was, could you add a heated steering wheel? Is there people on the forums adding things like that and doing airbag kits and a lot of those features? Boy, howdy, yeah, there is, and I like it. But I can't necessarily get involved in some of that.
Yeah. So if here at McArthur, we're gonna make sure anything we do, it's gonna be covered under warranty. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you're okay with it voiding your warranty, I mean, I'm going to need a lot of proof that it's going to work, and you better be signing some waivers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you get a fog light kit for the Maverick?
Ooh, I have not. I don't think that I've done one of those yet, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Wonder if you could add some, like I did with the Bronco, kind of under there. I wonder.
Yeah, if you
Or
wanted
something
to
like
make
that.
some OE or not OEM, but aftermarket,
Yeah.
and you're okay with a little bit of fabrication, yeah,
Yep.
I bet you could do it.
All right. Someone in here said I had multiple Wranglers, JLs, hardtops. It had amazing Alpine audio. Wish Ford used those speakers on Bronco. So yeah. All right.
Duke M, I'm located in Arizona. Do you have any recommendations on where to get a spray and bed liner done? I'm still browsing, but trying to find the cheapest price.
You'd think the local dealer, like
A
recommend.
local dealer might be able to help you if they're big enough and they have a facility or a booth that can handle that. The other thing I would look into is if you go, so the company that the factory uses and we use at Long McArthur is Toff, Toff. And if you go on their website, they might have a dealer or vendor locator, and that might be able to get you to the closest person that would do that. That's who the factory uses and who we use. There is other brands out there.
You might
But
not want to, but a lot of people are doing DIY
Yeah.
off of Amazon. Let's see. For Bronco, would these AM changes void the original warranty from time of purchase? Bigger tires, lift kit, roof, indoor lighting, grill, upholstery. What aftermarket changes would void it?
None of those are going to void the warranty. Like for a lift kit, for instance, like on an F-150 6-inch lift kit, you actually have to like cut part of the frame and re-weld some of the bracketry for it. So there is some things there that you can get away with. Everything that you listed there, you're free and clear. You won't have any trouble with warranty.
Okay. Can you add a compressor to the full-size Bronco?
Go ahead, Miles.
Yeah, actually, there are air kits that we can get for that. I went to the SEMA Auto Show in Vegas this year, and they did display a few of the like air up and air down kits. When you go off roading, you're going to want a little less PSI in the tires to kind of help those, the rubber of the tire roll around the rock and get the grip with your tread. Once you're done crawling around, though, you're going to want to air those tires back up to go home. You don't want to ruin your tread. So you can have onboard air compressors that have reels or hose lines that are pre-routed to those areas. So we do have kits that are available through that.
I'm going to show them my screen here for a second. Oh, wait. Maybe. Hold on. I was going to show what I did. Oop.
Can an aux switch be added to the Bronco?
Real quick, here's...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know if you guys can hear. Oh, wait, you guys can't hear it. All right, so you cut out just for a second because I switched to my screen. But all right, so they asked about the auxiliary switch, and they didn't hear you on that part probably. So they asked about adding the auxiliary switch, and you said probably not, right?
Yeah, it's going to have to be a factory option, unfortunately.
Okay, so I was going to talk about the air compressor. This is what I purchased through Rough Country. I got a nice Rough Country ticket through aftermarket. We're a Rough Country dealer, so Niles hooked me up with about 4 different accessories, and this is one of them that I ordered. So this is one that you don't have to mount. And what I like about this is that I can put this in my truck if I want to. So if I'm, if I want to put it in another vehicle, it's now I don't know if you're seeing it, but I have the air compressor kit that you ordered for me. So this is one that I can plug in. I can plug into the battery, and then I can air up the tires, and it's portable. And it's not that expensive either. So $130, and so that's what I bought. And then that makes it a little bit easier. And for me, I was like, well, and I can take it from the truck to the Bronco back and forth or whatever. So
that's really useful in any recovery situation, because there's going to be times where, let's say your battery's dead, you can't use that to do what you need to do, or you have to use someone else's vehicle or another power source.
Yeah.
Yep. What is the largest tire size successfully put on a stock Maverick hybrid?
So when I did the 1.5 inch lift on my Maverick, and I stuffed a set of 18s underneath their rim size. I'm going to have to go back and look at my paperwork, but I'm pretty sure that it was just shy of a 33, if my memory serves me correct. Don't quote me on that. That's not gospel, but you can get a pretty good tire size underneath that if you get that lift kit on there. Stock without a lift, I would need to do a little bit of homework. I know that if you go on Rough Country's website and you look at their lift kit, in the description of it, they do give you a recommended tire size, so you can know how wide and how tall you can go with that. But stock, I would have to look.
Because you can select your vehicle on their website, which is kind of cool. So I just put in Bronco, and then it shows all the different stuff I can get, which is not a good thing for me.
You don't even need me to be there to tell you yes or no. You just send me the parts list.
I got with Niles. I said I want to get some LED lights for my Bronco that I can put up by the mirrors. And he says, okay, well here, go to here, and so you can pull this up so you can see these options for you. And so I did that, and I said, okay, that's the option I want. And then while I was there, I found 4 other things. I got a shopping list for him there, which almost all of them are installed right now. Actually, yes, Oh no! Oh, I just have one left to install. But anyway, so
You're getting there,
cool.
closing
Yeah.
in on it.
Yeah.
Yep, I got the lights, which was the one I was most nervous about because I got them wired straight into my auxiliary switch instead of using a switch mounted underneath the dash. So,
Well, and that's the hardest part. And you got that done, you're
Yeah.
you're in the home stretch, buddy.
yep, a couple YouTube videos later, and I was there.
Back
Everything
to the
can be solved
Maverick.
with YouTube.
Can you use the Bronco Sport tires or rims for the Maverick?
I believe they're the same bolt pattern.
I think that's what I had heard too.
I know when they came out, Blake had said that they were the same bolt pattern. So
Yeah, my wife's got the Bronco Sport, and I believe whenever I had my Maverick at the same time, we could have swapped wheels and it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
So feel like one of the Bronco. Ooh, what'd really be cool is to order the Bronco Sport Badlands wheels and put on the Maverick.
Ooh.
So instead of the steels, it's the painted steel wheel.
That'd be
don't know.
snazzy.
I don't know.
All right. If my F-150 comes without the center high mounted stoplight camera delete, can I order the stoplight replacement part and will it work?
I've never been asked that before.
I
Yeah, that's
Um,
going to take some homework.
Yeah, from what I understand is that can be retrofitted back from the dealer. So they said that wouldn't be a retrofit. So that's typically when that dealer can retrofit it back on. And I think they had said on that one that is not something that can be retrofitted back on. So
All right. I will delete that one.
I'm glad you're here,
It-
Tim.
Is Law McArthur a vendor for any aftermarket companies? And if so, do you ship parts across the company? Country.
no, you didn't say.
It says company.
All right. So, bro, we know rough country. We just talked about that. What else?
Most definitely. Yeah, we're a vendor for quite a handful of companies. Like Four Wheel Parts, for instance, they're a conglomerate that offers numerous amounts of parts from a wide variety of companies and distributors. Also, if you look at like American Trucks, American Muscle, Roush is one of our biggest distributors. I know that doesn't necessarily pertain to Bronco Sport or Maverick, but for our F-150 and Bronco customers, it most certainly does. So those guys, Wheel Parts, excuse me, Wheel Pros, Discount Tire, and Tire Rack. Any of the major tire and wheel distributors I can access. I've got a long list of people, but that's just a few to name off the top of my head.
Yep. All right.
Are Ford Performance going to offer tunes and parts, exhausts, etc. for the EcoBoost MAV?
Oh, when I didn't get a chance to really speak to our Ford Performance representative very much when he came into the office, probably maybe a month ago. I know Ford Performance has some ideas for the Maverick. I don't necessarily know how deep they're going to go. I know Roush is extremely interested. Roush is ready to get some suspension and some engine upgrades going sooner rather than later, I believe.
Yeah, we did that trip together, and
Yep.
you could tell. So those of you that don't know, if you see if something says Ford Performance, that's 9 times out of 10 it's Roush that makes that for them. At least for engines and such, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's their sub-writer. They're the ones that sell it to Ford Performance. Ford Performance gets to slap their sticker on it, and
yep.
Yeah. I think I had heard on Facebook Vaughn Gittin talking about possibly retrofitting a Maverick if he has
Believe
a
so.
chance.
Yeah. So, and I do know that Roush is, because when we talked about Maverick and an ST, they had kind of a glazed look on their face, like,
Yeah, when Tim and I
No,
started
can't
talking
talk-
about the
can't talk
Maverick,
about it.
those guys, they perked up.
Mm-hmm. And they liked getting the input because they didn't get the input. So, yeah. So, anyway, all right. Anything else after
Yes. A few more. Let's see. How much does a 1.5 to 2 inch lift affect a Maverick hybrid miles per gallon? Do we know?
I cannot lift the hybrid.
You cannot lift the hybrid. Okay.
Unfortunately not. I don't have a lift kit that is available for it to my knowledge. Now, there could be someone
There
out
was
there
a
that's been
lowering
able to
kit,
figure it
right?
out. Do what?
Wasn't there a lowering kit we were looking at? Wasn't there one that would
I
lower?
believe Beltec was the company that offered that, and I know that it's available for the EcoBoost, but I'm not entirely sure if it's available for the hybrid.
All right. And Ragnacon said what? I can answer that. The Maverick is the 2.0 EcoBoost. So.
I already answered it. In there.
Oh, okay. I see it. So, yeah, and so, but you can do. So on the we did left on that one Maverick. What's else it affect on an EcoBoost?
When I did it to mine, I noticed at least a 3 mile an hour or not mile an hour. Goodness, 3 miles per gallon drop off. But that was also when I lived in town and I was accessing the on ramp pretty heavily.
Yeah, I think that's what somebody actually had said by the size of the tire too. For every so many inches you go up, you lose so many miles or whatever. So.
Yeah, I wish that I remembered whatever ratio that is, but unfortunately, that's not locked away in my memory.
Which, like, when I did that to the Bronco, I mean, we didn't actually lift the Bronco, but when we put the bigger tires on there, we went from the stock 32s to 35s. My miles per gallon went down, but then when we added the Roush cold air intake and exhaust, it went right back to factory miles per gallon. So it was like, okay, there we go.
It's a nice little compensation for the loss there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I have one more in the chat box, and there's a few in the chat. My F-150 will now have the center high-mounted camera removed. Can I order? You already answered that one. Will the 21 F-150 climate control with the temperature display and the dial work on a 23 F-150?
What year was the first part of that? Sorry.
21.
21 to 23 should work.
Okay.
So I think 22 was their redesign, right? I don't remember. I don't know. Maybe 21 was. Or
21 was the 21, 22, and 23 have been the new body style.
Okay. All right.
Which means we 15 to 20 is my body style.
Which we could be looking for some major upgrade in 24. I know that Town and Country did a video tonight. I haven't had a chance to watch yet, but so anyway. And then what ones do you have in the chat? Where is it? This one?
Can you get a muffler for the Bronco?
Yeah. Yeah, from Roush.
All right. How much more height can you get with 18-inch wheels on Maverick trimmer over the stock 17-inch, and how much trouble is it to recalibrate the speedometer?
Well, so speedometer recalibration is done from us, at least through a company that we have a distribution for. That company name is called Hypertech, and they're the ones who produce all of our F-150, Bronco, and Maverick Bronco Sport speedometer recalibration kits. That it's somewhat expensive, I guess you could say, like in about $400 ish, parts and labor, because you have to pull the dash on some models. But as far as fitting rims, I've seen at SEMA, when we went to Las Vegas Auto Show, there was Mavericks anywhere on 18s all the way to 22s. It's the ratio of your tire size that you'll have to adjust to fit. So it kind of depends on how much sidewall you want on that wheel when you're riding down the road to give you that ride comfort.
Okay. What brands would be a good suggestion for a 2-inch lift on a Maverick?
Rough Country would be the one where I would start. I know that there's like Super Lifts and Ready Lift. I know that they all make a kit. I think it's kind of just a copy of a copy. I think that the bigger name company you go with, if there's any issues, you'll probably have better customer care afterwards. If you go with some of the smaller, more inexpensive companies, from time to time, I've noticed that their customer service isn't necessarily what it needs to be.
All right.
Is a dash cam wired to hero switches a wasted use of switches?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Is a dash cam wired to hero switches a wasted use of switches?
Oh man,
Probably like the auxiliary switches. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily be the the go-to guy on that question.
Okay. Someone asked, is there a carpet delete option for the Mavericks? No.
Not to my knowledge. Tim might be able to help me with that.
No. Even
No.
the XL comes with
I
carpet.
knew that. I just saw it in the chat and wanted to get it answered.
Ragnarcon said, which Law McArthur upgrade kit do you like the best? Like for instance, the F-150 Rather kit, like probably like the custom builds that we do. Which one do you like the best?
Oh man, the Shelby tribute that we do, where it's the Long McArthur 705 horsepower.
Yeah, that we're in the works with right now.
Yeah, we did one back in 2020 when I first started.
Yeah,
and it was really similar. It used to be a 750 horsepower package.
It was 650 actually.
Oh,
Don't
I'm
we have
sorry.
the LMP
Yeah.
750?
It was LMP 650 back then.
That's right. So
now,
what's the 750?
Now it'll be 705. 750's on a Mustang.
That's right.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, you're right. I'm getting it mixed up.
Yeah, I
One of the
remember.
things-
I did the
It's easy to
video.
do.
I know. I remember.
You did the video. I can't question that, right? Yeah. So one of the things that we did in that particular package, two notable features: the seating inside with the leather that we did, aftermarket road wire leather, was that we added the diamond stitch, and some of the diamonds, like the actual stitching, was color matched to the truck.
Oh, yeah.
Alongside of that, we also did the bed cover paint to match that had the same stripe going over it. And that, to me, was the epitome of class.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys are wanting something kind of cool, we have a couple of builds in the works. And one of them is, basically, if you've seen the Shelby F-150, it's a much cheaper version of that. Like, we're talking $40,000 cheaper version of that with a 705 horsepower supercharger. But the look is going to look a lot like it. So, yeah.
To be honest with you, being $40,000 less and only, a couple horsepower difference within 20, I mean, holy cow.
Yeah. It doesn't have all the Shelby badging and such, but, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a way. And that's I mean, we sell a lot of those LMP 750 Mustangs for that same reason, is you can have a great performing GT with the supercharger, and you don't have to go up to like a big Roush or one of those others to have it and save yourself some money. And I always call it kind of the sleeper car, because you can put that supercharger under there and nobody's going to know that you have it, and then have a little fun off the line with them.
I mean, hey, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Put a 20 on the curb. Let's do it.
But we also have another one that I don't know. It might be a little bit further out, because I think we need to get them scheduled. But we have one based off of the Tremor F-150 that I think y'all were like.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. And so we need to probably not talk too much about that yet. So
yeah, I better get quiet,
because that one's not one that.
Excited about it.
That's not one that we've actually done one on. At least like Shelby one that we're talking about, the LMP 650. We've done that before, so that's just a updated version of that for this year. So that's not something that we're not able to do. But this other one is one that we have not done before. So yeah, so you guys will be enjoying that one. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. So
yeah.
All right. We have a couple more in here, but can Niles tell me how I can see the condition of both batteries on my Maverick Hybrid? I can't keep the ice off. That would be a service question, I believe.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have too much advice for you on that one.
So, is he saying that the ice engine's kicking on again too often, kind of thing? That's all in a way of, I mean, so you want to your battery, they need to work together. So you want to be able to regenerate as much as you can so that you can use it. Now I think a lot of people like to try to use the hybrid battery and everything and not have the engine kick on when they're pulling away from a stop. And as long as you realize that those are working together, the gas engine's kicking in to power the vehicle and propel the vehicle, so the hybrid can be able to be function at low speeds at when it doesn't need the power, to be able to save you in gas, like when you're sitting at a light and that kind of thing. And but braking early will help regenerate more of that back, so you have more to use. I found that I do it more efficient if I try to use that gas to go ahead and get up to speed, and then coast, get to that speed where you're getting then coasting, and then just go on. Then you're just going right off the hybrid. So that's I found, but there are other people that can probably in the chat tell them that as well. And I did a video on that early in 20. What was it? When the 2022 Maverick first, before it even came out back in September of 21, you can check. I did a video on my Fusion on how it should work on a Maverick.
Okay.
Wow.
Johnny, it's a good video for you and Marie to do. So Johnny, they just got their hybrid Maverick, and they could do probably a great video about that too. So since I don't have a hybrid to do one on, you have to get one in stock to be able to do one on.
Yeah.
We don't have any. They're all sold.
10 minutes more in the Zoom.
All right.
So,
Any other
is there
questions?
factory mounting holes for running boards on the Maverick?
I don't believe so. I honestly, though, I haven't necessarily looked, and I haven't been asked to install a set of running boards on a Maverick either. So don't let my answer skew belief, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Okay. I think there's a lift kit out for hybrid now from HRG Off-Road, but I don't know if it's any good. Any experience with these kits, or would they void the warranty?
To my knowledge, I didn't think there was any hybrid kits out there. So to be honest with you, that's news to me. I'm gonna go look at that kit, and I'm gonna go get with John Maestis, one of our service managers, and I'll talk to him and see what kind of warranty scenario we're in with that. But again, yeah, like I said, I haven't done any hybrids, but that's not to say that
most people won't take a hybrid. Most people are going to usually order a hybrid to get fuel economy, and although you're going to save a lot just by going hybrid, so lifting a hybrid still is going to get you a lot better than what you would have on a gas engine. But most people usually won't lift a hybrid because they're trying to get the most. Like my Lightning, I haven't really done much modifications like that. I mean, I like the level kit like Roush, but and I thought about leveling it until I realized that it could affect the Blue Cruise and such like that. So I just like, nope, I'm leaving it alone because it's all about the electric. Tim,
so if you go on Rough Country's, and I know Rough Country is not the end all say all, but if you go on Rough Country's website, they don't offer a lift kit for an F-150 or a Lightning that has Blue Cruise. That's not available.
Yeah. So does Rough Country on their stuff? Does Rough Country warranty their stuff, or does
they offer a warranty, and that's part of the reason why I've gone with Rough Country on the last 3 trucks that I've bought. I've lifted all of them. They're who I've gone with on all of my lift kits, and it's mainly because of their parts warranty, and then also the ease of installation.
Yeah, I've installed a couple things and not too bad. So. Cool. All right. Well,
could you install Bilsteins on the Mav hybrid for a better ride?
If they're available, yes.
Okay.
What about the Bronco? Can you get if somebody wants if we have somebody out there, they're thinking, okay, well, I want Sasquatch because I want to upgrade a suspension. You can upgrade the suspension on the Bronco, right?
Yeah, if you get something, what is it? I forgot what the suspension's called. Is there another one besides Bilstein that they offer? I forget.
I think it is, but I think it's different. I think it's an upgraded shock.
There's another name
off the top of my head, but
there's another name. I think for some reason I want to say Boss. I'd have to be at work.
Well, they have the Haas suspension is the system that they're using on all of them, but I know all your Broncos get the Haas 1.0, and then Badlands I believe is the Haas 2.0, and I think part of that. And when you go to Sasquatch, I think you get the Bilstein shocks. I might be
and to be honest with you, from what I've heard, that Haas 2.0 is not something that is much you don't want to sneeze at that. That's something that's pretty serious.
Yeah, and see that. So the Haas 2.0 is what's part of the Badlands, the Sasquatch, and it's also in the Badlands. So people go to Badlands so they can get that suspension, but then people with the non-Badlands will want to go Sasquatch. Part of it for that, but the other part for the wheels and tires. But that could be a constraint for them. So I was thinking if you could upgrade to the Bilstein shocks by not going Sasquatch, upgrading your wheels and tires.
Yeah.
So
I would have to see if I could get those shocks. I'm sure that if I grabbed the OEM part number off of a vehicle that had it,
yeah,
like if we went and found a VIN number with a vehicle that had that particular option that you're looking for, you can call the parts department with that VIN number and say, hey, can you get me the part number with that particular shock? And if they give you that part number, you can also order it from them.
yeah.
So if you're wanting to order, not necessarily from Long McArthur, but if you're at another dealership and that's how you want to handle it, you can definitely do that.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. Ragnarcon put it in there. That's what I was thinking too. With the Haas 2.0 is Badlands and Sasquatch, and Haas 3.0 is your Wild. I knew about Wild Track and the Haas 4 being on the Raptor. I wasn't sure if like those shocks it's just major. If you wanted to go non-Sasquatch and Outer Banks and then just upgrade the shocks or suspension system. But anyway, it could be done. I mean, just if you wanted to, so you won't have to wait on the Sasquatch. So anyway.
Yeah.
And then also, there you go. Okay. All right. Well, we're running out of time. Niles, thanks for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Tim. I really appreciate the opportunity.
All right. If you have any questions, don't forget you can drop them in. Niles' email, I don't have it on the screen here, it's pretty easy. Niles, LMP, right? Long McArthur Performance
Long McArthur
at Gmail.
Performance.
All right. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Later. All right.
There is a trimmer video for the Maverick, Brandon Jones. If you go to our channel and look up the Maverick playlist for 2023, it's right in there with the other 3 trim levels.
Well, Maverick is, because you can get Maverick on any of the either XLT or Lariat trim, so it's technically a package. So we talk about it on that video.
Yes, but there is a trimmer video where he went over it.
Yeah, at the auto show, but I didn't do it I didn't do a really good job.
No, you pulled in Lee's.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
You pulled one in and he goes over it and shows it to you and everything. That was
I do a lot of
few months ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Have we received any Super Duties yet? No, not yet. Have we gotten any 23 Escapes yet? Not yet.
No, but the Super Duties have been shipped out. We did find that out. So we know they have the okay to buy. Actually, in the broadcast on Monday, proprietary information, but they said they got the okay to buy on the Super Duties. So we should be seeing those anytime now.
Okay.
All right. Now let's go to other questions.
All right, I want to go down here and get some of these going. Was there any F-350 diesel info that I missed? Came in late. No.
Except for job 2, so they're going to probably start scheduling the King Ranch Platinum and the Limiteds now.
And he has a whole video with all that information posted.
Yeah, you might check the videos out I did on that. So
might have missed it, but is it worth trying to get a 2-door Bronco this coming order bank?
Okay. Ragnarcon, just put the percentages in there. Just throw it in there. So it is going to be very difficult to get a 2-door. I'll just tell you that. They're going to produce a very, very low percentage.
Yeah.
So.
All right. European Ford Explorer EV. Will it come to the U.S.? Call your guy and find out, please.
Will what come to the U.S.? The Explorer EV? I don't know. Look good. So if you guys didn't see that, I didn't talk about that, but there is a Explorer EV that's supposed to be coming. Somebody, I thought they said it was going to be, I know that Derek had said something about it being a compact vehicle. I'm like, why would you use an Explorer name if you're going to make it compact?
RagnarCon says 10% for 2-door.
You're not supposed to say it.
I'm reading off his comments.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I'm reading off a comment. Just like, Niles, you did a great job. Thanks.
All right. Anyway. Well, hopefully, it released yesterday, so hopefully people have talked to their dealers already. But, I mean, it's for, customers who want to put an order with us. So definitely, if you have an order with us, you want to reach out to me, reach out to your salesperson at the dealership, and that have them ask me, because even some of those guys probably don't have all the information. We have Bronco specialists that do, but so reach out so we can go over the percentages. So
I have it
all right.
turned the wrong way. Sorry guys, it is cold in here, and this is why I
Okay.
have a blanket.
Somebody said something. I think it's included with the Lux package. What was that question?
What is?
I'm
which
not
vehicle?
sure. I probably missed it. It's probably up there ahead. But all right,
Okay.
what questions? Let's read those questions
All
off.
right.
We'll bounce back and forth.
We actually
there.
have fewer now that we got rid of all the
that's
aftermarket
good.
ones.
It's always good. Aftermarket. I say aftermarket's fun because I've been spending my Sundays putting on parts. If my wife's still in the chat there, she could tell you about every Sunday. The last 3 Sundays has been putting on parts, but almost done. And I think one I'm going to give to the dealership and have them put in. But I have one left to put on, and then it's about done.
All right.
Until I find something else to buy. No.
Is the 1.5 EcoBoost a reliable engine? I've had the 2.0 in multiple Fords, but might get the 1.5 in next. I realize I will have.
There aren't a lot of vehicles that have the 1.5 right now, but it's been a good engine. We've seen it in the Fusion for a while. We've seen it is available in the Escape. Escape will have the 1.5 liter. Not too many engines or too many vehicles have the 1.5 anymore, other than that Escape. Maverick, it's 2.0. 1.5 is not available. Edge is was it a 2.0 or 2.3? I have to look it up. I can't remember those, but the Explorer is 2.3. Ranger 2.3. So that engine's really only available in like maybe just the Escape left, and that's about and the Bronco Sport. It's available in the Bronco Sport, but yes, it's a good engine. It's been out for a while, and it does a good job. So
Yep. All right. What is the typical time frame for a built Maverick to reach the dealership? Are there any crazy derails on the rail yard due to the derailments by chance? Depends on where it's coming from
about 4 weeks.
or where it's going to.
I mean, typically it's about 4 weeks. I mean, if it's going to Arizona, it could be 3 or 2, maybe even, because
It's right there.
Yeah, it's right there. California, maybe 3 weeks. Most of the country, it's 4 weeks typically. I always, in about any of the factories, I always say about 4
for
weeks.
those up in like New York, Maine, places like that.
Yeah, it should be most of the time 3 to 4 weeks.
But we haven't heard of any delays due to derailments besides the ones that were already built and we're stuck in those derailments.
There was one. I remember what it was. Actually, we had one here in Kansas.
Yeah, it started a fire.
Was there any vehicles on that one?
Yeah, it had a couple of Fords and a couple of other makes.
Those are the ones that go to Kansas City. Probably come to us. Hopefully not. We haven't actually been notified of any
I
issues.
think that one was heading down and
Oh.
not up. So it was heading down to distribute. So it had already been through Kansas City and was headed the other way. Any details on Super Duty tow tech package for Lariat?
Okay, what was that? What?
Any details on the Super Duty tow tech package for Lariat?
Yeah. So, tow tech is going to get you the trailer, the trailer hitch assist. It's going to get you. I'd have to look at the order guide off the top of my head now. I am. Actually, is it over here? Did I give that to you? Yeah, right
Yes.
here. All right, so it does require the 360 camera on the XL and XLT, and on the XL also does require the driver assist package, and you get the Pro Trailer Backup Assist. That is that dial that helps you control the conventional trailer as you're backing it up. You get the Pro Trailer Hitch Assist, which is I believe that's the new one for this year, and you get the Trailer Reverse Guidance, where you can kind of see down the side of that trailer, which is really cool. And then also you get the lane keeping assist on most of your vehicles, except for depends on the configuration. There's a lot of different. If it has this and this and this, and then you get the lane departure warning for your XLs. But on your Lariats, you also get the intelligent adaptive cruise control with stop and go. That's also included in that package. So there you go.
All right. If I were to ignore constraints when the order banks open on a 4-door wild truck hardtop with Lux, will my order be accepted, and how long will I have to wait?
Okay. You can take the order just like dealerships can take more orders than what they have allocations for, but what it'll do is it'll affect like whether or not your order gets built this year in this model year. And so what'll happen is if it doesn't, you're basically going to start all over in 24. Hopefully, depending on your dealership, they'll prioritize your order. So like if you were putting an order at Law McArthur and you put in like a wild check like that, and it can't be selected for scheduling for 23 model year, and then it ends, what we'll have to do is we'll put in a new order for you for 24. But since you had a 23, for us, we were going to prioritize your order because you had a carryover. Same thing happened with Super Duty and Maverick. So a lot of people don't realize this. They call it carryover orders, but really it's technically Ford doesn't carry the order over to the next model year like they did with the Bronco. You actually, as a dealership, had to put in that order as a brand new order. So we did a Super Duty orders. We had, I think we had about 20 Super Duty orders that did not get scheduled in 22 that we had to put in as a 23 order. What we did is we gave them a higher priority than the people that were giving us an order for the very first time. And so hopefully your dealership would do the same thing for you so that you will always be looked at first as long as they can do that. So same way with the ones that are currently in there, we have 9 orders left that haven't been scheduled yet. When we start taking new orders next week, and we're going to do the same thing. Those are priority 10, and we're going to put new orders as a 15. So the things that go into whether or not you get scheduled is your dealership has to have allocations, and then they're gonna look at priority next. And so if they can schedule your order based on your configuration, a 10 will get scheduled before a 15 that's built the same way. If there's constraints and they can't build that one, then they'll go on to a 15 that may not have like a hard top or may not have Sasquatch. And that's typically how that's going to work. So we're going to see it. It's going to happen again with this, just like I did with the Maverick and other vehicles. We're going to see people that are putting in a brand new Bronco order, and they're going to be people there that have been waiting 2 years, and they're going to get scheduled. And it's not because of anything else other than, hey, you know, they don't have a hardtop, or they didn't have a Lux, and there might be one thing missing that's different. And you got to remember, orders are going to be different from one dealership to another. So I see that a lot too in the forums where they said, well, this person, they'll go and go, hey, I got scheduled and I just put my order in, last week, and then they're going to be people that have been waiting for 2 years ago. How is that possible? I've been waiting 2 years, and why did you get scheduled? And that's because you're at a different dealership. Let's say that dealership, if you're a dealership like ours, we only have 9 left. You're going to get selected faster than if maybe you're at Granger Ford or someone else that has 100 orders still left to go, right? It's a totally different situation. So you have to look at the whole scenario, not just your build versus their build. It's a totally, your build versus their build, plus their dealership, how many allocations they get, how many orders did they have, how many orders were prioritized before yours versus the other dealership. There's a lot of scenarios there, so please take that in consideration when you're in the forums and you're looking at that and you see other people get scheduled, because there are different situations. So within the same dealership, that's a different story. You can look at that, but I can tell you, even by looking at the Maverick orders that were scheduled last week for us, our 18 that were scheduled, I can see that pattern, and they looked at those first by the priority and second by the order date, and then by the configuration as well. So they're going to try to schedule them that way, and I did see that pattern, and we had some got carried over or got overlooked because of constraints. So anyway, so
all right. I received a VIN in a build week of May 8th for Maverick XL hybrid order. When will the window sticker be available for viewing?
Typically about a week before your vehicle goes into or is supposed to get built. So they call that going into production, usually about a week before, because the factory needs your order, and that's basically when your window sticker is available, is when that order is sent to the factory. So
all right. Are you folks going to the Ford National Car Show in Carlisle?
We've talked about it.
Yeah. We're
thinking about it. We might.
It would be fun.
I I haven't looked at that thread lately on Maverick Truck Club, but I think that they had a deadline that if they had 25 Mavericks registered before that deadline, then they would give them a special area. So if that's the case, if you guys get that done, then we're seriously thinking about it.
Yeah.
Looks like a lot of fun. So we might fly up and go to that. You guys need to let us know what's the closest airport we should be flying into and such. Because I was looking at it and I'm like, it's kind of like out here in the middle. What's the closest airport? So you guys let us know that. But we're considering, we're thinking about it. Some people had mentioned they'd love to have us up there for that, and it could be a lot of fun. So yeah.
I suggested to my husband that we should do that for our anniversary.
And I think your mom was thinking it would be kind of a fun trip too, to go up there.
Kind of do a couples trip, have someone watch our boys. Yeah. All right. And I'm in California, and my local dealer has not responded to my allocation question, but a dealer in KC seems to think he can get my order in within allocation.
I don't know what vehicle we're talking about.
Probably Bronco.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like for us, I mean, there are going to be some dealers that probably not a good idea for them to take orders if they have more than what their allocation is. I mean, like Ford gave us, they're supposed to give us new numbers, and I haven't checked my emails today, but or this afternoon, and I don't know if we've received that yet. But a month ago they told us it was 58. And so we knew how many we could take. Well, we only have 9 orders in there, so that means that we could take 50 orders or close to 50, and be okay with that. So we'll just have to, I mean, we can do that. And then, but the conversation, it's going to be difficult. And I know Ford says, oh, you shouldn't take any more than this many wild tracks and this many that and this many. The wild track is pretty easy to say, okay, folks, we have 10 slots for wild tracks. First 10, we'll, and then after that, we're just going to tell them, look, we probably can't unless you switch it to a different trim. But on the other, like Sasquatch and Lux Package you can usually see, because you can tell by the equipment group that's a Lux Package order, so that's easy. But Sasquatch, you got to go into each individual order to see how many there are, and we're going to have 3-4 managers putting in orders on those. It's going to be very hard for us to calculate. Well, that's our 10th or 12th Sasquatch. So Ford makes it sound really easy, but it's not that easy. So what we'll do is letting people know that, hey, based on the way you ordered, there is a great chance that we may not get scheduled unless we, just so you know, that Sasquatch or that Lux or that hardtop could affect whether or not you get yours this year. Just so you know, we'll put your order in, but we can't guarantee that you're going to get it this model year. Just making sure that the expectations for our customers are aligned. So for that, And not all dealers will tell you their allocations. I'll be honest, a lot of salespeople won't know what that number is. But, a lot of times we communicate with our salespeople, when we're putting those orders, we can see, oh, here's how many unscheduled orders we have, and we're close to that 50. So will we take more than our 58 that's available? There's a possibility, but again, it would be communicating to the customers that, hey, just to let you know, it may not get scheduled. And but, yep, there you go. Any other questions?
Richie was asking when the the show is. It's from June 2nd through June 4th.
And that's in
Carlisle, PA.
Pennsylvania.
Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and it's the June 2nd through June 4th.
There you go.
Okay. Someone said to go into Baltimore. Would probably be your best bet for flying. Okay. Can my dealer go ahead of time for a new Bronco order now?
Can they order ahead of time?
So can my dealer do ahead of time for a new... So they can take your order and have it ready and preloaded, or not preloaded, but ready for when they open.
Yep.
Okay, I have a Maverick Trimmer XLT ordered with you. Order placed September 19th. I'm going to really get worried if I don't get scheduled in the next round. I wouldn't be too worried.
So was that Maverick?
Yeah, Maverick Trimmer XLT.
Okay, keep in mind for one,
We
we still have. They're going to be
Rollovers.
building. They're going to be building vehicles until October, right? And they're only scheduling for May. We still have about what 6 months, 5 months of production still yet to schedule. So keep that in mind, and keep also in mind that they are going to ramp up production real soon as well at that plant, so they can produce more Mavericks. So, and then of course, two, we should see most of the rollover orders being taken care of and new orders being scheduled, and also knowing that Ford is wanting stock Maverick trimmer orders, which means that they don't think there's going to be a problem building all the retail orders right now. So yours will get built this year, more than likely, if you have a trimmer, as long as your dealership has allocations.
All right. Will you be reaching out to verify and finalize Bronco orders this week?
This week, if you've given us your pre-order, then Monday we'll be putting those orders in. If you want to reach out just to kind of make sure you can, but if you've sent us that order, we are set to go. It may not be a bad idea to reach out via email or whatever. I do know that for the most part we have Bronco specialists. So when a inquiry comes in, whether it be either I'm going to have it, or one of those Ford Bronco specialists are going to have those orders for you. So it's real easy to be able to track down what we have. There are some customers, local customers, that have worked with other sales guys that are ordering a second. This is, they bought an F-150 from a certain person, so they'll go to that person and they can put a Bronco order in. But for the most part, we do have Bronco specialists that will handle most of our orders, so it'd be real easy for us to know what they are. So we have Derek, Kyle, Dan, and Darren. Yeah, so we have 4 Bronco specialists. So, be pretty easy to do there.
All right. Tim, on the Transit rear view camera, do you have any idea what % build are being built with the HD camera?
Or what their capacity is?
Possibly.
See, that's one I put over here. I don't think I need it.
There's always one question about Transit.
Yeah. High resolution camera, their capacity is 12% and 26% of their orders have it on it. So, that's all I can tell you.
The next one is from Tim Foster, but it says, "Hi guys, this is the missus. I'm just wanting to confirm what I thought I heard. The Bronco order banks open Monday at 4 p.m. Also, are they only open 24 hours?
Okay, so they're basically the dealerships will put the orders in. So you don't put it in yourself online. The dealership will put them in for you. So like for us, it's going to open up at 3 p.m. Central Time. So we'll have a couple hours before we close. So we'll be putting those orders in, that day, and putting them in until we close. And then we'll if we have any more that come in, want to put in an order on Tuesday, then we'll put them in then. So that most dealerships will work the same way. I'll probably, I'll get mine. We don't have that many orders. We put in 600 Maverick orders in 5 days, 6 days. We were putting in 200 orders in a day on that Friday and Saturday. So we're not going to have an issue putting in all of our Bronco orders in one day, even probably within 2 hours for the most part. So we're very versatile in those. So we'll probably get most of our pre-orders in that day, but for most dealers, you'll want to make sure you want to see if, hey, do I need to come down there? Can I just give you a pre-order? Can you do that? Because getting the order entered is one thing. The COVP will need to be done as well, but that's something we can do on the Tuesday or the next day. So we'll get the order in, get the sheet printed, and get it to the salesperson, so then they can get the rest of it. So those orders, submitting the orders that's the most important. That gets your timestamp, that gets your order in. And typically we try to do the orders. Salespeople will do theirs in the order that they receive theirs. Typically, I know I have mine in order the way I received them for some of our members and such. And so I know that the sales guys do the same thing. So when they go to the manager and do those orders, they'll do them in the order that they receive them. So will an order that might have come in first for me or second get ahead of the first one that he has? Possibly. Just depends. Again, so, but.
All right. Is my Lariat is built. How much would you guys give me for my XLT? What kind of hit would I take? It has 1,100 miles.
We'd have to get with our used car manager to evaluate. I can tell you right now, the Maverick values are really good right now. I know we had someone that asked about a used one they saw on our lot and such. I mean, what's crazy is that most of the vehicles we're having to give close to MSRP because that's what the value is on those. So you can almost expect what you bought at new probably is trade in. So.
All right.
Or more.
Can you pre-order the Maverick? It's dealer to dealer based, but at this time we are not taking them because we want to see how we're looking closer to the end of the order bank or to the order scheduling, closer to when orders open up. We want to see where we're at based on that and how many orders we can take. Hopefully we get our allocation numbers before.
Well, and here's the situation of why we want to wait. Last year, I was taking pre-orders in February of last year, and we couldn't order until September. Well, I was taking a list of people that were interested and said, okay, when we get more information about order guides and such, and we get closer, we'll start doing that and taking pre-orders. Well, I had a list, and probably 50 people off that list never contacted me back in the summer to go ahead and put their order in. So we want to wait until we get a little bit closer, maybe a couple months out before we start taking pre-orders, because things do happen and people are like, you know what, I need to get a vehicle, and so I went ahead and bought something and I don't want to put a Maverick order in. So we hate to go through that for you as well as for us of getting that information and everything when it could be, that you end up getting a vehicle, things change or whatever, can't buy it, can't order it. And so we'll probably wait until a couple months prior to before we start taking pre-orders. So.
All right. I have an Explorer I purchased on delivery hold due to 360 camera recall. Would you have any info on the fixed timeline?
Your dealership should. I don't have, that's not one of the ones we went over today, and I'm not versed on all of the recalls, but so it must be a stop sale. So that means until the recall is done, they can't order it. So,
AH, your question is in there. I have it in here about 10 times.
Oh wow, yeah, it's
in there. We're not at the bottom.
You can't see it when you enter it. So we do see it though.
Yes.
We're good. Probably can't put it in because they couldn't see it, so they didn't think it was getting put in there. But we do see it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
And it's in the regular chat too. So we'll get to it in just a second.
Yes. My Maverick will be built the week of May 15th. How much of a delay is there from the assembly line to the body shop for spray and bed liner, then to the rail system for transportation?
It's hard to tell. It just depends on how busy they are and such. Typically, they can produce a vehicle in a day. And then it'll go to the body company, but that could they need to take it over there. It could take could be in line waiting this day and not get into the next day. But I think sometimes it could be could be a couple days, 2-3 days, and then it could be several days. We found sometimes a vehicle will be, after it's built, it needs to go through inspections and such, and sometimes that takes a while before it actually gets on a train, and you can almost expect a week after yours is produced before it gets on the train sometimes, with or without the spray and bed liner stuff. So
okay. I have a brother who works for Ford dealership. Can I use Ford D-Plan and still get price protection on a Ford Maverick? I've seen this come up on Maverick Truck Club. Thanks.
Yes. AXDZ plans can get price protection, and they do recommend if you order it that way. That's why a lot of ours on the Maverick, I said, if you know your X-Plan and such, it's a lot easier to get price protection if we order it that way at the beginning. So you don't always need your D-Plan PIN number yet, but knowing that it's a D-Plan, so we can order it that way, so that you can be price protected to that price when your order was put in. Ford does say in their little price protection information that it can be. Dealers can do it one of two ways. And they say on the others, on anything other than D-plan, all those plan pricing, that it's done automatically and the dealer should just give you the price protection. But there is a section under the different plan pricing that says the dealership can go ahead and give you the discount and lower the price. If so, they need to document that on the paperwork on your form, or they can do it when the vehicle, once you get the price protection amount from Ford, then you can reimburse them later. And again, then that needs to put on the form after that happens. So dealers will do it one of two ways on those plan pricing, but we do it, especially if the vehicle was ordered as plan pricing, then when it comes in, we just go ahead and honor it and lower the price for us. But so it can be done either way, but plan pricing does get price protection.
All right. Could you repeat the info regarding the start-stop removal from the F-150 orders? In August, I ordered a 23 F-150 with start-stop removal. I'd rather have my evil ex-wife back than that awful start-stop.
So that information said that, what was that on? Here, I can go over that again. But it's not going on yet. So it says auto start-stop availability is returning to F-150 trucks. Auto start-stop removal will no longer be available to order starting March 24th. So this Friday, you will not be able to order one with the auto start-stop removal on it. Current orders will still be built the way they are in there. So.
All right. Will Ford produce base 7 speaker system for Broncos and 23s? Subwoofer delete has been in place basically all year so far.
Yeah, that probably isn't changed. Yeah, so that probably hasn't changed any.
Okay. Is it better to do financing at the dealer or go out to my own bank or credit union?
Well, as a dealer, I would say at the dealer, but it's always a good idea to keep your dealers honest. You know, shop your rate and such. Let them know here's what I can get. You know, if you want the deal, it's you know, it's also just it's anything like negotiating. You know, so you know if you know you can get with your credit union and know what kind of rate you can get and say, hey, you know what, I can get this rate through my credit union. You know, so if you can beat it, I'll go with you guys. If you can't, I'll just finance with them. Most dealerships is so much easier to do it at the dealership, so they'd like to get the deal. So hopefully they can beat that rate. But that's what a lot of people recommend is getting that information ahead of time. So when you go to the dealer, then you're making them work for you, so you get the best deal possible, whether it be financing or the price of the vehicle. So that's a good idea.
Are you seeing scheduling moving around? My Bronco Heritage first scheduled April 17th, then May 1st, then April 24th, and now it has just been moved again to May 8th.
That happens.
Yeah.
There might be something on your order that's causing it to have to be moved around, which at this point it's too late to change that, but they will eventually get it all squared away and get it done. I know that they were, for job 2, were having issues, with the roof and everything on a couple different ones, but you should be, it's going to be built. It's just, we see things move around. We've seen it on Mavericks as well, the same way, and it's at the same plant, so I hate to say it's typical, but it is some of those.
All right. If F-150 is EcoBoost and Maverick is EcoBoost, why did Ford name the hybrid F-150 Power Boost but didn't name the Maverick hybrid the Power Boost?
Good question. I will say it is a different, it isn't really a different hybrid system, but I do know that the transmission that they paired with the F-150 is a little bit different. So it's still like a 10-speed transmission, hybrid transmission. So I think that probably is why, just because it still has the power. A lot of your hybrids, won't have like towing power like the F-150's hybrid it still gives you a lot of towing power. That's why they gave it the Power Boost name. So.
Yep. Will I hear from you to confirm my Bronco in the next day or so? If you would like to confirm it, you can reach out to us.
I have yours. Yours. I know he's my list, so definitely got yours on there.
All right, syntax error. How long is it taking lately to ship Mavericks from Hermosillo?
It's about 4. Once it actually gets on a train, that's why I always like to tell people, let's see when it gets on a train, and then once it gets on a train, now we have a better ETA of 4 weeks. So.
All right. Moto Biscuit quoted Ford is increasing Maverick production by 80,000. With they're opening up a third shift.
Yes, I think
so-
it said. I thought the release I saw was it was close to that number. It was like 77, but
All
yeah.
right. Jack Evans says if majority of dealers will not share their Bronco allocations, then why not just place 3 or 4 orders with different dealers?
Yeah, that's something we're seeing too. Is that we're seeing on the Maverick. We actually have a lot of customers that have multiple orders, and with multiple dealerships, because they're like, okay, I have my local dealership as a small dealer. I got my order in with them, but then I have it in with you guys as well because you guys are going to get more allocations. So we'll see which one schedules first. And I hate seeing that because probably, especially if they both get scheduled the same week, then you have 2 coming, and if you're only going to buy one of the dealership is we have somebody that didn't get theirs because of that, which is difficult because I know your goal is to get your vehicles as soon as possible, and I get that. But yeah, and especially if somebody doesn't tell you,
Yeah.
But I will tell you, like for us, and now it's different now, but Maverick, we didn't know allocation numbers. Dealers didn't know it. At least now they're starting to give that to us ahead of time, which is great. Like Mustang, we got it ahead of time. Bronco, we have it now.
Yeah.
Super Duty, we got that ahead of time. Maverick, we did not
I
get
think
that.
they realized with Maverick that they didn't give us the allocation numbers before, and now they have an influx of Mavericks that they cannot. It's too many.
Which is why, even though they said they're not going to do any kind of private offer, I think they should. In my opinion, because they messed up.
Yeah.
So that is their fault. And so I think they should, for those people that are at dealerships that have that. Plus, I really do think that a lot of people put in multiple orders. They probably have double the orders that people are going to have,
Yeah.
because people put in multiple orders. So.
All right. Brandon Jones. I don't know if this question was answered, but it says your dealership. Oh, wait. We did that one already.
Yep.
This is AH. I ordered a 23 Ford Super Duty and added job 2 3.5 E-locker rear and option yesterday. Apparently it conflicted with FX4. Is this a glitch? And how do we get this fixed?
Yeah, we did talk about that during scheduling information. So I have an email into the brand manager because, sometimes we'll see a certain option not available in a package, and the package will say this isn't available with this. Kind of like when one of these others does the same thing. On one of these, we'll just like with this, certain packages. Well, let's see here. Let's find one like this one, like trimmer off-road package, not available with 8-foot box, not available dual rear wheel, not available with the rear stabilizer bar. When you look at FX4 package, actually doesn't have any of that. It just says availability optional on all 4x4 pickups. It doesn't say that it's not available with the e-locker. It says requires an electronic locking differential on single rear wheel. Or limited slip on the dually, but it does not say that it's not available with the 355. So I'm waiting to get an answer on that, and why that's not showing up. But we're seeing it as well as the other one I mentioned too. There was another one that the onboard scale isn't showing up for the Lariat trim, and there's no note in that as well. So anyway.
All right. I want the SAS for the suspension, not the wheels. What are my factory options?
So like we were talking about that earlier, is the suspension is that, of course, all your other trims other than Badlands and Wild Track come with the Haas 1.0 suspension. So, you probably could go aftermarket and add upgraded shocks and suspension system if you want to do it that way. Most dealerships should be able to upgrade your suspension. So, I know Town & Country has done a video on about that as well. So, yeah.
Yep. All right. Hi, I just placed an order today with my dealership for a 23 Edge ST with a 401 and ST interior appearance package. I was told ETA will be about 4 months. Is this accurate?
I don't think we can tell any ETAs on that. Edge has been one of those models that's been really spotty on scheduling and production and such. And so I don't know if any dealer can really guarantee, time frame and all that kind of stuff on the Edge. So
I can answer this one for you, John. I'm driving in my Maverick the other day, and my message came on the screen saying, "We think you should pull to the side of the road and take a break." What would cause this message to come on the screen?
the driver alert.
Driver alert. If you have that cruise
Deactivate it.
control, and you're going over
Not even
the line?
Not even the cruise. You don't even have the cruise on.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's that lane keeping, right?
It's part of your lane keeping system.
Yes.
So there's a box that's called driver alert, and basically if you're taking your hand off the steering wheel too often or something like that, then that driver alert will come over and say that. So just go into your settings and uncheck that box.
Yes.
That'll
Yes.
take care of that.
But it's basically you're going too far out of the line, or it's going...
Pull
you're-
over, drink
yeah.
some coffee.
Yeah.
Little coffee icon.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what that is.
I've gotten that, because it'll first tell you put your hands on the wheel, and if you continue to have the habit of going too close to the line or over, it will then tell you to pull over. You might be too tired.
Yep.
H, can you please provide an update video when you hear back from Ford engineering teams for the 3.5 and scales when you find out?
As long as it's not proprietary information. I gotta stop joking about that. All right. Yeah, I will. I'll do a video on that. So.
All right, that was the last question.
All right. Any others in here? Sophie Psych. I think they're gonna. Oh wait, totally forgot it was Tuesday. I think they're gonna be here tomorrow. Maybe.
Ooh.
I don't know. Yep.
Well, we'll be
So-
at the farm show.
Yeah, but we can.
Make an appearance for.
That's
me.
right.
Yes.
Definitely.
We'll
You gotta let us
fit
know.
It into our room.
Let us know when you're gonna be here. We'll make sure.
Yes, if you are picking up and you want to see us, meet us, don't worry about our schedules. Just let us know when you're going to be here, and we'll fit you in.
We'll make sure you're here. Definitely.
Yeah. Like, I know on Saturdays, a lot of people like to come down on Saturdays, especially from out of state, because a lot of people have Saturday off, Sunday off. So it gives them time to come down, pick up the vehicle, and drive home. I don't work Saturdays, but we have had times where I've come down and I've met people on a Saturday. I just need a heads up. Especially if Lebo's working.
Yep.
Which apparently he's going to be working most Saturdays now.
Mm.
So.
All right. Any other questions? So now if you have any questions, just put it in the chat and we'll get to those.
Yep. Are we 15 minutes early?
All right. So let's see. 3.5 is a nice ratio that we.
Sorry if I missed it, but is there auto start stop able to be removed for the 23 Bronco? Is that an option?
Don't think so.
No,
Most of the time, it won't be an option you can actually, hey, I do or I don't want it. It'll usually be because of constraints, we're taking it off.
Yeah.
And that's what it was on the F-150 is they made it available 1 year because they were having issues, so that would allow people to do it. And then at one point, they just made it to where it was going to be, okay, but removal had to be put on there. And now it's back. So typically it's either they're going to be built, like our Expedition was built without it. Didn't have an option to say yes or no. It was just built without it. So if it's not available, they'll just build it without it.
See, and our truck came without it, and we're thankful it did. And then I told him earlier, but I was in our C-Max today, and I was backing up, and I'm like, wait a second. Hybrids are quiet enough. They're supposed to have that beep, 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 the backing up sound, because they're too quiet. We have a 17 C-Max, and it did not come with it.
Pedestrian alert sounder.
We are glad we don't have that, because I hate that sound. I don't hate it, but I don't like it.
I might accidentally run somebody over if all my sensors around the outside don't go off. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Should there be tomorrow with the better half, probably mid-afternoon. Okay. If you want to email us, we can definitely try and be here for you.
Yeah.
We will definitely be here for you.
definitely sounds like I need to be at the show with my Lightning, so that when people ask and try to argue why they don't need a electric vehicle and a farm.
I pulled in the Lightning today because he had me take it over there because he had a meeting. So I pulled it in, and of course it's silent. So all these guys have set up their booths, and they're sitting around chatting, and they're all staring at me as I'm maneuvering this truck in there, getting it into its spot. And then when I back up, that beep, 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 ding, ding, ding. So they're all just staring at me as I'm pulling this in, moving it into place. And then they come, as soon as I park it and I get it turned off, 2 guys were right there. And then the third guy walked up a minute later, and we're asking questions. And I answered a few. I was kind of proud I could answer a few. But then they were like, how much does it weigh? What's this? What's that? And I'm like, hold your questions tomorrow. Our expert will be here all day, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday.
So...
And one guy was like, I don't need an expert. I don't need to know. I have a 5.0. Okay, but this guy was asking questions, so I was letting him know. I wasn't talking to just you. Thank you.
Okay, so Brian asked about his build for Bronco. Black Diamond, what did he say?
Sasquatch, modular bumper.
And modular bumper. So of those constraints, you have one thing on there. So if you went cloth top, then you shouldn't be too bad, because again, the more of them items you have, the harder it will be. But if you only have like one, then it's not too bad. So if you're 4-door cloth top, you probably won't be too bad off. Although the Black Diamond is a very small percentage, so it's like 8 or 10% is their capacity. But I will tell you this: there aren't that many Black Diamond orders still left to be scheduled in the order banks. Which could be a nice benefit, but again, the production number is lower. So, yeah, but I do like the Black Diamond. I'll tell you, if you look at mine, the only reason I didn't go with Black Diamond, I went with Big Ben with my build. I was looking at the Black Diamond because I wanted the front and rear lock. Or wait, I don't think it comes with the front locker. Anyway, I wanted the Black Diamond. I like the look of the Black Diamond on the outside, but I didn't know if I could handle the vinyl seats and the vinyl flooring. And I also wanted the LED signature lighting, which isn't available in the Black Diamond. So I went Big Bend with the mid package, got the LED signature lighting, and then I switched my grill out to the Black Diamond grill. I now have the rock rails on mine as well. So my bumper I've upgraded and got the tow hooks, the shackle look. They're not in the bumper like the capable front bumper, but they're just below that, and just totally different look. So on the outside, since mine doesn't have a Big Ben badge, it is on the back glass window thing, but yeah, I like the look of the Black Diamonds, definitely. But
I did find out how much that grill is for your Bronco.
Oh yeah,
I'll tell you.
Okay.
And then if anyone's looking for Maverick parts, I have a hood scoop, fender flares, tailgate assist, bed cover, hard roll up cover, and what's that deflector? The black deflector that goes on the hood. Got that. I got all of those. If you're local.
Wonder how many we can ship those to Carlisle and go to they're gonna have a swamp meet and you can sell them there.
Oh, there we go.
Well, they were talking last night on All Train Nation. They're talking about a swamp meet at the Supercell, and I'm like, I got some Bronco parts. I wonder if I could fit them in.
I'm sure you could.
And so here, I took these off my Bronco. Nobody's gonna want the factory tow hooks though.
No. Oh, I forgot to mention Levo. I saw a Jeep at the park today and had the blue tow hooks. Those are EVs, right?
Should be.
It's either an aftermarket tow hook or it's an EV.
It was one of the electric, yeah. There you go. All right.
So I've seen an EV Jeep in the wild.
Okay. Nothing else?
No,
other questions?
Not that I'm seeing. I have a hood scoop. I'm not sure what color it is. Lebo bought it with the intent to have it painted for our Maverick, so I'm not sure if it's just that white, if it's just the base coat and then it needs to be painted, or what color it is exactly. But I have one that has not been out of the box. Yes, we answered your question. Oh, was there any price increase for the 23 Super Duty since it came out for production?
No, I don't think so. There wasn't an overall price increase, but we noticed some of those things that were job twos, some of those prices were different.
Yeah.
So like the tow technology package, because they added that hitch, that package in there, that price went up. And so before, since it wasn't available in the Lariat trim, you didn't see that higher price until it just released. So that we did see higher, but other than that, I don't think they had a price increase on the Super Duty. They might have had one in the past, but I don't know.
All right.
There you go.
The Black Diamond, does it come with blue interior? Trim?
I can't remember what the color is. I think so.
I like blue interior.
I think it's a navy pier.
That's why I like the Maverick, because
Mine's
I
got
like
navy.
the navy pier.
Mine's got that color.
It does.
They must have got a lot of navy pier color in from there.
Sorry guys, we bought a bunch of navy pier, and so everything is getting navy pier interior.
Bronco Sport, Maverick, Bronco.
Just forget about black. It's all navy pier.
All right.
$100 increase.
Well, if you knew, why'd you ask? Oh, I don't know. I can't.
Other than
I know
shipping.
I know that I keep. Yeah, there's probably just a shipping increase.
But if you have questions on Maverick parts, let me know. I have a few.
I do have a list. Let me
Yes, I love the navy pier. It's gorgeous, and I especially liked it with the orange accents in the Maverick. Another reason I really like the Maverick.
Let me look at price increases.
Oh, if anyone's getting a trimmer and would like the interior orange accents, like the trays and such that are orange, let me know. I might be able to hook you up with some.
So Super Duty's had two price increases, actually. One on October 20th and the other one on January 4th. So let's look at those. What did I say, October 20th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that one was $1,000 more on all Super Duty. So if you ordered before October 20th, you should be price protected to that $1,000. And what was the other one? January 4th? And on January 4th, Super Duty increase of the destination delivery by $100.
Yes,
so
that's what it was.
So there you go. So if
And
you
that
ordered in
is-
between there, then you'd only have the $100 price. But again, you should be
And
price protected.
That shipping, that destination and delivery is part of MSRP.
Yes. So yeah. So you're right. So there were extra two price increases. So it depends on when you ordered. If you ordered after October 20th, then the only thing that you would see that's gone up is $100. But again, the dealerships should be price protecting you to the original price when you ordered. If you ordered before October 20th, then you have $1,100 that the price has gone up. But again, you should be price protected to your original pricing.
Yes. 23s weren't out in October, though.
But there was a price increase.
Yes, so they
October-
did a price increase before the model year's ordering started,
but
right?
you know what? I might have that in the wrong folder. That might have been on, 22. Was that
October
maybe that
20th, 2022.
maybe that was 22s then? When did the order banks open? I don't know. Anyway, that might have been on 22s then.
But it transfers over to 23.
No,
They didn't lower it.
no, they're different. I mean, yeah, yes. So if they do a price increase in the end of one model year, when they carry over to the next model year, you'll keep to those prices technically.
Yes, it was before they released.
But when there was an order bank open. up for
Sasquatch
that.
just got a $750 price increase anyway, so it's much less enticing than it was before. I think you're right. It was 22.
Probably can tell you when the order bank's open for Super Duty because I'm sure there was a memo about it.
I'm getting better on my Super Duty knowledge. He has me going to the farm show, and he's like, you probably know a lot. can help out. I was like, whatever I don't know, you know, and I can ask you. Or I have a laptop. I have access to the internet. I can find the answer for you. Might take me a minute, but I can find it. Half the time I just ask him what it is,
So
because then it takes half the time.
I'll have to move that one because I did have that at my 23, but I believe that was a 22 price
100%.
increase, not a 23. So, all right. Okay. There you go.
So the trimmer Maverick comes with the black accent. It has the orange stitching, but those compartments have black instead of the orange.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think my sister likes the orange. I don't think she would mind switching for black, so you might have talked to me on the phone. I answer his phone, so if you call for him, you get me. And if I don't know the answer, I get back to you.
Is Ford going to offer 0% financing in Lightning? Nope. They're not. Right now, I mean, it's going to be... Right now, when you see like a special 0%, it's on something that they don't move very well. So all your E's, your Escape, Edges, Expeditions, they're going to have lower rates typically, but you will hardly ever see it on anything that moves quickly. Like Maverick isn't going to have it because they cannot keep those. I mean, they can't build them fast enough. Bronco's not going to have them. Lightning, mach-e's don't have them right now. F-150s do because they can build so many and they can move so many, and they want to be the leader in truck sales. They don't want Chevy to beat them, so they will do whatever they can to sell them.
So I actually talked to about 3 people today about the 3.5.
355, yep.
And I talked to about 5 people yesterday about it. So.
Well, here, let's check and see if I have any emails. Oh my word, I do got a lot of emails, but.
Thank you. I actually worked on our in our internet department in the phones. So I've done the front desk. I started there in high school and then left there. Moved around. I've moved around a bunch. I've worked in rental. I've worked in service. I worked in detail for 4 years in high school. I've moved my way through the dealership. Worked in our phone department doing our cold calls. And then came over here. So I have the phone training. I try and be professional on the phone. But yeah, I've talked to I think 8 people in the last 2 days on that 3.5 question, the 355.
All right, so I don't have an email back from the brand manager yet, which I'm not surprised because it was like close to 5 when I emailed them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll hopefully get a message back, and
If only the Bronco Sport was offered a manual, that would be nice.
Bronco Sport. Oh.
I know, cold calls are not fun.
I didn't hear the sport part for a second.
Cold calls are not fun. They are rude. I don't like them. Half the time, the people I was calling, they were like, oh, that person passed away like 2 years ago. Thank you. I will update our systems.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about it. It is 9:30. I call her quit here.
Yep.
So, all right. So, thank you for joining us tonight. We are, I don't know what we're down to, but anyway. Thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate it.
30.
So, don't forget to smash that like button while you leave. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight and getting through it. I know the little On My Mind segment was a little weird, and I did forget to put the slides up for those. Anyway, so thanks for cutting through there. I always like to share as much information as I can for you guys, but I also want to make sure I'm respectful of other dealers and with Ford as well for that, because I'm in the same boat too. So anyway, thank you guys very much for joining us. Got any parting words? Nothing? No?
Have a good week.
We'll be at the farm show next 3 days.
So if you're in Kansas for the farm show, come see us.
Come see us. We're in there in the big part of the building, usually across from the tractors.
He'll be standing right next to his Lightning the entire time.
Maybe not. Who knows? I might be hiding in the frunk. I'm taking a nap in here.
Someone saw that. They were like, what's that? that? I was like, that's the release button if you get stuck in there. He's like, what am I supposed to do if my wife has a button to get out? I was like, bed with a bed cover? Lock it? I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, but like I said, it'll be it'll stop people in their tracks. So
Yes.
usually when you're at a show or something like that, your goal is to interact, get people to talk to you and stop them, right? So that you can try to sell them or whatever. And I'm like, if you want to stop people in their tracks, put a lightning in there, because they'll be like, what? Stop. Hi, how are you doing? So that'll stop them in their tracks.
Yeah.
But a good conversation starter, even if they're not even interested in an EV, at least it's a conversation starter, and you can go from there. So, all right.
Ragnarcon's right. May the webdo gods be with us. Thank you, Donald. We will not have or you'll have Thursday night before Bronco ordering, but the next time you see us on YouTube will be after Bronco ordering.
Yep. And
Or
probably
on
by
Thursday,
Tuesday
so.
night of next week, we'll have all of our Bronco orders in that we can probably take. So, yeah, more than likely. Thank you, Donald, for the donation. Appreciate it. So, all right. Other than that,
I think it's time to hop off.
I think we're good. All right. Don't forget, stay positive, be kind to one another,
Be kind to yourselves.
and we'll see you later.